We have sound now? Off to another fine start.
Take two.
Take two. And scene.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Digital Fiasco Live. My name is Dandr0id.
And I am Jack McBastard.
Yes, and we're here for another lovely Monday night to talk about all the video games and nerdy shit.
You ever have one of those feelings of deja vu?
Yeah, it's like something just didn't happen. So.
It's true. It's true. We need to make that sign bigger, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So how's everyone doing tonight? I see a bunch of people in the chat.
Lots of lovely faces out in the chat. They're already getting up in there.
Yes, always.
And no, Janus Bryn, you cannot talk about your new free-to-play RTS for mobile devices.
Yeah, we definitely have to hire that aggressively underpaid intern, I think.
Yeah, one more. We're giving you a warning. If you do that again, we're going to kick you out of the chat. Just funny because he's trying to market this RTS for mobile devices, and he hasn't even said what the fucking name is yet.
Oh, he doesn't have one. He abhors the whole thing.
No, that's literally the name of the game.
Oh.
It's free to play RTS for mobile devices.
That's true.
Yeah.
For mobile devices, then at the end will be for mobile devices. Yeah. That will be just confusing.
It would be even more confusing if it was for consoles.
You make it for free to play RTS for iPhone, but it's only available for Android.
Or you make it for mobile devices. You can only play it on console.
There you go.
But it's a version of a person holding a mobile phone in front of them playing a game on like a PS4.
Okay, this is mind-blowingly stupid already. And we haven't even introduced anything we're doing today. So normally, since there's some people in the chat who probably have never seen us before, we are Digital Fiasco Live. We're going to talk about all the latest news in PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and PC gaming. We are hosted by the lovely and talented PlayStation universe, so we might be a bit biased.
Only slightly.
Yeah, but what are you playing this week?
Well, same thing I was playing the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
Still playing some sweet old Spider-Man.
Yeah, how you doing on that? Are you almost done?
Yeah, getting there. I had a couple more boss fights.
Okay.
And what a spectacular way to put some boss fights together to actually fight two bosses at the same time.
Yes.
It's something I've never really seen in a game before. It's pretty rare to have that type.
Right.
Either that or, I mean, the only one I can think of offhand was the newer Mega Man X collections. That was, but it was like a challenge mode where you could fight two bosses at the same time. It wasn't integrated into the normal game.
Right.
And about the only one I can think of offhand would be Dark Souls. Really.
Oh, okay.
And that's where you fight two of the big baddie armors at the same time. But
yeah,
outside of that, it's just really interesting how they kind of interconnect them. It isn't just like two of the same guy or palette swapped.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, it's actually integral to the fight that you're fighting these two in particular at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Because they kind of play off of each other and whatnot.
Which is quite awesome.
Yeah, and just humming along, getting more awesome Spidey suits and and looking real good while doing it. Okay, so I've realized. No, we're not talking about.
I didn't say a damn thing. I didn't say a goddamn thing.
No, you did not, and keep it that way.
But a symbiote suit.
What do you? The Netflix apocalypse. What? Everybody's fired. Netflix is canceled. Oh, I don't know. We'll probably talk about that tomorrow on Comic Sans.
Rurutu is apparently new. He doesn't understand why Digital Fiasco has that name sometimes.
Yeah.
If we had a producer, you see, we don't have this kind of problem on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, me at the desk.
We have someone at the driver's seat. Monday night, it's just these guys.
Yes. I'm driving remotely. Anyway.
So back to Spider-Man. Okay. So, like I said, amazing game, enjoying the shit out of it.
Yes.
I think the only issue that I have with the entire game is I think it's the same issue that a lot of people have with the game, and that is the stealth missions of Mary Jane and
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales, yes.
Okay.
And it's really, really unfortunate because even though I guess technically part of that story is integral and everything like that.
It is.
It's the main issue that I have with it is I wish it would be a little more natural, I guess.
What do you mean?
Maybe you start somewhere and work your way into where the stealth mission happens rather than the cutscene happening where Spider-Man runs into Mary Jane and then Mary Jane turns and winks at the camera and says, "Oh, do you ever wonder how I got here?" And then it, rewinds to the start of the fucking mission. It's like, no, I don't care how you got there because you're already fucking there.
See, I blame J.J. Abrams, who really used the 12 hours earlier plot device as a crutch, for fucking years.
It's really unfortunate because if they just took place more naturally, I would enjoy them a little bit more, I think. But the problem is that when you do that type of situation where you already know like where you're going to end up,
Right.
your eyes are already darting around to find stuff that's close to like where your character should be at the end of the mission. So it's like you already know that you're almost done the mission, and I don't know, they just seem. It's not even that the missions are like clunky or anything like that. Like the mechanics work, and the paths make sense and everything like that. Everything's heavily scripted as expected. But
Rutu says that Mary Jane's trying to be Deadpool.
Yeah, maybe she is.
Could be worse.
Some of that comedic value there.
That'd be hilarious.
But yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate because the rest of the game is so fucking solid that it just feels weird that they had to kind of almost shoehorn these missions in there.
To be frank, I did not notice an issue whatsoever. I enjoyed those sequences. I went through them.
I guess the one thing to be said is that even though I'm not a fan of them, they're short.
Yep.
It's not like it takes up, half the game to do these fucking missions. So, so I'm not too worried about them. But yeah, I think that's about the only snag that I've really hit so far. Everything else has just been so thoroughly enjoyable throughout the rest of the game.
See, everyone always thinks about Spider-Man. They think about his agility. They think about his wisecrackingness. They don't really remember the fact that he takes a beating like all the fucking time. So
yes, and that's actually something I really appreciate about this game too, is that even though you have all these amazing abilities and your suit has these you can put tech upgrades and you can give it all these awesome powers and stuff, you are still very squishy in this game.
Yes, but can you imagine how much squishier Miles Morales is?
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah. That's very true.
Yes, indeed.
But yeah, no, it's just that's about the only shortcoming that I've found so far with the game. Everything else I just love. I love all the designs of all the bosses and everything like that. And
Emperor Raxel just brought up a point. I didn't actually sit down to watch the new season of Daredevil yet, but apparently that started airing on Friday.
Oh shit! Did season 3's out already?
Apparently so.
Oh fuck! Okay, yeah, that's still by far one of the best things that I've seen on Netflix.
Hopefully the guys don't talk about it tomorrow on Comic Sans.
No, I don't think they've had time to watch the whole thing. Maybe like the first 2 episodes or something, but yeah, I highly doubt that they've gone through the whole thing yet.
Man, I kind of wish I knew that, because I was sitting there like an idiot watching like Black Lightning just to see what it's like. And it wasn't terrible, but it didn't do much for me after like Luke Cage, right? You go to Black Lightning, which is like a I don't know.
Was that another
network television?
That's another CW one, right?
No, it was a Warner Brothers one that I think Netflix picked up as an original.
Oh, okay.
It's a Warner Brothers television one.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a network TV kind of.
Yeah, it's very cheap feeling.
Like I say, compared to Luke Cage, right?
Yeah.
Which is just awesome 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I will definitely sit down and watch the new Daredevil now that I know I was busy doing other things. So.
But speaking of Spider-Man, I also saw a hilarious GIF today that I have to try on New Game Plus, because of course you can only do this on New Game Plus because it's the you have to have the costume where he's in his boxers, like it's just he has a Spider-Man mask in his boxers.
Yes, and
it's the cutscene where he's leaving MJ's apartment, where they're having like their dinner date.
Okay.
And then he fucking, she says, "Oh, hey, your phone's going off or whatever," and it cuts back and he's already like halfway out the window as Spider-Man, but you wear that costume.
Yeah.
And she's just, but the reaction is so much better. He's sitting there in his boxers and his fucking mask.
Yeah.
He's halfway out the window and she's like, "Seriously? Did you leave your clothes on the kitchen floor?" He's like, "Oh, sorry," and he like backs up, but it's just like he's stripped and put on a Spider-Man who has to go fight crime.
So it's gonna be like they'll Photoshop in over the graphic on the phone. It's gonna be like a paternity test thing,
Yeah, gotta go.
Oh, it's at the time I gotta.
Oh, and it's fucking hilarious that they actually have because of the New Game Plus now. You can also do the meme of Spider-Man pointing at himself.
Yes.
So, because that one just like New Game Plus came up, and that was like the first picture I saw all over Reddit and everything. So,
yep.
So that was pretty fucking entertaining.
Yeah. So you gotta like drop the hammer, because the City That Never Sleeps DLC is gonna be out like right away.
I know. Yeah.
Yep. So,
but yeah, getting there, almost done. I mean, again, it's not a super long game. I'm just really, really enjoying it. So
understandable.
Yeah. Yeah. So what have you been up to?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Nothing redacted at all.
Nothing at all.
Okay. All right. Well, on to the next one. No, you must have been playing something though.
No.
No. That's unfortunate.
Yes.
You play something every fucking week.
That is the operating theory.
Okay, well, I guess we'll carry on to the news then.
Indeed.
All right.
Yep.
All right, what do you got?
So, might cancel Luke Cage. That's madness.
Oh yeah, that's that whole thing. They'll cover it on Comic Sans tomorrow. My 2 cents on it is that
Iron Fist goes.
They're
for
not.
Sure.
Yeah, they got rid of Iron Fist. They got rid of Luke Cage, but they're only canceling them at Netflix. That's all they're doing. They're gonna, because Disney's having their own streaming service. So what they're doing is they're canceling their stuff with Netflix so that they can pick it up and put it on their own Disney thing, channel, whatever.
Would really depend on how those were actually made, because I think they were made in part by Netflix, so they made.
Yeah, but Disney has more money than the entire universe.
No, I understand
so.
that. Like, it depends on what the rights issues are. It wouldn't be necessarily as cut as dried where they just, plug and play somewhere else, lift and shift.
Yeah.
In any case, let's move on. Let us talk about the Triple D this week. So
right.
for what is our big things that are coming out this week?
Oh, I mean, we always save the best for last. But,
Yes. Yes.
Starting off, actually, speaking of best for last, I
Yes.
mean, best for first too. Castlevania Requiem, Symphony of the Night, and Rondo of Blood.
Remind me again, who publishes that?
Good question.
Castlevania.
Yes.
Published by
Yes.
Konami.
Yes.
Remind me again what our policy is about giving Konami money anymore.
Well, see, here's the thing.
No. No.
It's
Hold firm.
these are the best
No.
ones though.
No. You already have it for like the PS1, I'm certain. If you don't have it for the PS1, I'm sure you have it for some other
I
console.
mean, I did have it for the PS1 at some point.
Don't you have it digitally for like the PS3?
You know what? Did it ever
for
come out
PS1?
as a PS Plus title?
No.
No?
No. But
Okay.
it was available like as a PS1 classic that
Yeah.
you could download for sure.
Yeah, but then Rondo of Blood.
Yeah,
also
but
just
Konami.
hey, you played that fucking Metal Gear Solid Survive game.
But I didn't buy it.
Yeah, well, you still gave them the numbers.
My numbers
They could still point at their computer and be like, "Look, people are playing it. There's the hours. They're shooting up."
Yeah.
Especially in Canada somewhere there. I
Well,
I think you were the only guy playing it.
It was ridiculous, but I had to play it, and it was.
Yeah, and I have to play this again because they're awesome.
to give Konami money.
It's also cheap. I'm not buying a fucking $80 game from them.
Yep.
Okay, so carrying on. If you want a silly little fun like 2D platformer game,
Yes.
I believe this has been out on Steam for a while, but it's called Halloween Forever. So with the spirit of Halloween coming up soon in the next week or so, it's actually a fun little game. It's dumb and basic, but it looks like an old like Atari or a NES game, like that kind of thing. So.
Like a Ghost House
here,
Sega
like-
side-scrolling thing.
Like it's
good
you
lord.
play this like little pumpkin dude, and it's like a 2D platformer action game.
It's like Ghosts and Ghouls
Yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah,
with just a sprite swap.
just I don't think it's nearly as hard as Ghouls and Ghosts.
What did I say?
Ghosts and Ghouls or whatever.
There was two of them. There was Ghouls and Ghosts. There was a second one that was
There's
like
Ghouls and Ghosts and Super Ghouls and Ghosts, wasn't
no,
there?
there was like it was a weird naming convention thing. I don't know if it was a legal issue or what. I could be completely wrong. Who knows? You know what I mean.
There was
though.
also the one with the gargoyle, which was linked.
No,
in
that's
with,
Gargoyle's Quest.
Gargoyle Quest. Yeah.
Yeah, which was a completely other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which switched to Demon's Quest. That's what.
Yes, because it was Gargoyle's Quest on the Super Nintendo, and then it was Demon's. No,
No,
Demon's
Gargoyle was
Quest?
on Game Boy. Demon's Quest was on Super Nintendo.
It's the same fucking game, regardless. Anyway,
But
It was not
for those of
Golden
you
Axe.
that just want to shake your booty out there, Just Dance 2019 is also coming out. Again, I'm not a big fan of these games, but somebody is because holy crap, they've made like 30 of them already.
well, I mean, if you know one thing about me, it's how I live for the dance.
Of course.
So,
So you'll be picking that one up.
absolutely.
Another really big one for Shonen fans. We finally have My Hero One's Justice coming out. So My Hero Academia, the fighting
Is
game.
that what it's from?
Yes,
Okay, so I
that's what
saw
it
that
is.
and I was thinking to myself, this looks like something that Dan's gonna be interested in, but I could not place
Yeah,
why.
absolutely. So
Okay.
we're, I think, 3 seasons into My Hero. Of course, it's one of the biggest things since basically kind of like One Piece and Bleach and stuff, because it's another Shonen Jump series. But just this is like the new hotness, and they finally have a fighting game for it. So
Occasionally, I do have to bleach my One Piece to maintain my hotness.
hey, we don't talk about that on the air.
Fair enough.
And this one actually, this one's been out for VR for a while, but it's really interesting that they're bringing it out not only on PSVR, but they're also bringing out just a normal edition on Switch. It's called Never Out. And this is one that is basically...
Oh, right. I saw that.
Have you seen the movie Cube before?
Yes.
This is like the video game version of that.
Except hopefully less Canadian.
I don't know. I enjoyed it.
That was a stunningly Canadian show.
It wasn't a show. It was a movie.
Well, it was a couple of movies, but I mean, it had like Nicole DeBoer in it, and it had what's his face, Rodney from
it still
Stargate
worked.
Atlantis.
That's all that matters is that it worked.
I shouldn't even know Nicole DeBoer's name.
You know everyone's name.
Not everyone. I can't think of the guy's name from Stargate Atlantis who played Rodney.
And
I would know it if I saw it.
And if you're just too cool to play Mario Kart, Nickelodeon Kart Racer's coming out. That, of course, has all of your Nickelodeon favorites in it, like SpongeBob and the Ninja Turtles and Rugrats.
Yes.
Even though Rugrats ended, 20 years ago.
Does it have, like, Ren and Stimpy and...
No, it doesn't have Ren and Stimpy, unfortunately, which would have been really cool, but probably questionable at that point.
was C-Lab 2021, was that a Nickelodeon thing? Or...
No, that was Cartoon Network.
That was Cartoon Network.
That was the old
Adult
Hanna-Barbera mix and match there.
I was trying to think back then, because some of them, like, went between networks. Yeah.
But of course, all the stuff we just talked about pales in comparison to Red Dead Redemption 2. Of course, that one's coming out on Friday.
Yes.
And holy shit. Sorry if you tried to release a game this week, but it's about to get stomped.
Yeah.
I think that this is one of those ones that's basically like Game of the Year material out the gate. Like, you don't even really need to play this game to know that this is AAA blockbuster written all over it.
Well, Rockstar does not release small games anymore. They
really don't.
They just don't.
I don't know. Did we ever get like final tally on like how much this game actually cost to make? Because I know that like Grand Theft Auto 5 was like a $500 million game or something like that.
Unless you're an investor, you probably won't get a real insight into that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just the straight budget for the game doesn't take into account all the other monies that are buried in marketing and cross promotion.
Of course,
and everything
I
else,
mean, when
right?
you look at Hollywood stuff, it's the same way. It's like, well, this movie cost $500 million. Yeah, but 200 million of that was advertising. Like,
yeah, I honestly don't know why Rockstar still needs to advertise anything.
You know what? It's just to get it out there. There's just get those extra few sets of eyeballs on it.
I mean, you can put stuff out on YouTube. You can put the videos up on your website, but you don't need like bus ads or to paint the side of the building outside E3.
They go deep. So
I know,
yeah.
but I mean, that's like millions and millions of dollars to advertise a game that will literally sell itself for 10 years.
These guys know what they're doing. So obviously they did their math, they did their homework, and they realized we got to put bus ads out there.
Like I went full Chris Traeger to literally sell for 10 years. GTA made over $5 billion. Well, that's true. You know, that's
well, because they've been,
and that's, I imagine
that game is, we talked about this before, it was like 6 or 7 years old. It's been making money the whole time. People still buy new copies of it.
Yep.
No, people still buy like brand new copies of it for like $60 a piece.
Some people have bought it on 2 systems.
Yeah, exactly.
If not 3 on PC, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that money that money just keeps making more money.
It does. That's how takes money to make money.
But of course, Red Dead Redemption 2, the game that everyone is fucking waiting for, comes out on Friday. So,
yes.
Do you have any ones to add to that?
Nope, that is basically the list. I mean, like you say...
It's pretty slim pickings this week because they didn't want to get stomped.
Red Dead's going to eat everybody's lunch unless it's like something like Just Dance where, you know, the Venn diagram...
Yeah, they don't really cross over. Maybe in the small sliver in the middle somewhere.
Where they dance to like Boot Scoot and Boogie. Some kind of country music thing where it's like, you know, $18.99 kind of favorites plus, I don't know. Did they do any Just Dance to like the soundtrack from Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never played a single one. It's just not my thing.
Just square dancing. There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
I could see that being a thing actually, easily.
All right. Yeah. That's built-in logic there. Squaresoft. They could make all the like dancing to all their famous songs from like, you know, all the Final Fantasies, all the Kingdom Hearts things, and they could just call it Square Dance.
I could see them doing that. I mean, we've gotten...
It's a terrible punny title.
We've gotten other iterations like that. Like, we've had... I don't know if it was Just Dance or if it was DDR, but there have been ones that did I think they did a Disney set.
Yes.
Of, like, remixed Disney songs from all the movies.
Sure.
And then there was another one that did, I think, a bunch of Mario music, too, like DDR Mario. and it had him like dancing on the screen. He had like funky costume on and everything.
Could be.
So
I'm not sure. I mean, I know that the Japanese like their puns as well, but typically you don't have to translate them to understand them.
that's true too.
Like if you've watched like Bobo 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 Bobo, you know the puns are everywhere.
That I think about 80% of that show is puns.
Quite possibly.
Yes, and Jay Tanuki actually brought up that other fact. Sorry, it wasn't on my list, but yes, the director cut of Dream Daddy also comes out on PS4.
There is definitely something ill-conceived.
I know. They should have just called the director's cut.
Yeah, they tried to pull a THQ Nordic on it.
It's not just THQ Nordic. They're all gonna do that now.
Sure, but like
cram that word in there somewhere.
But consistently though, you had like the Red Faction Remastered Edition.
Yeah.
The Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered. Then you had like the War Master Edition for Darksiders.
And the
Definitive Edition for
that
Darksiders
one works,
2.
so I really like that
those
one.
do. I mean, they killed it 3 times in a row. But I don't even want to know what they're gonna do for the third one when it comes out. Like I don't know, the Refurial. I don't know. Anyway, so check out PSU.com for other week's releases. There aren't that many. They're all largely indies who could not care less about Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, again, that Venn diagram doesn't really cross over, so yeah.
Not so much.
Everyone's just staying at a minimum safe distance until the smoke clears.
That is true. We have some anti-releases.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fire away.
So let's start with the smaller ones. Concrete Genie, which is that one we've been kind of waiting for about a year and a bit.
Right, yeah. The like graffiti-based one or whatever,
right.
yeah.
But it's got like a bunch of AI built into it too, so you like make different stuff and then it animates it like realistically in real time.
Yeah, exactly.
And the monsters that you create on the wall come to life and attack things to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it looked really interesting, but it's apparently being delayed till spring of next year.
Oh, all right.
Did
they give any kind of explanation or just said, no, it's getting pushed back?
Just needs more polish. I mean, we haven't seen it at all since then.
Yeah, exactly. So. That's why I was trying to think of, like, I think that was the one we saw, because, it's been a while since we've seen anything on it.
Right. I don't know if that was in any way inspired by Sideways or if that was like something else, but
it's possible.
Yeah. All right. So Wreckfest from THQ Nordic, that was delayed till 2019.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate one because I really want to play it, but since my computer's a dumpster fire, it won't play it. So
well, here's the thing: like it was due to be released on November 20th for PS4 and Xbox One, but apparently the PC version is out now. It's running fine.
Yeah.
Apparently, the console version's been having some performance issues.
Okay.
So if you think your PC is a dumpster fire, then
no, and that it's fair. I mean, I bought in on the Kickstarter on that, so I've been in that game for 3 years now, I think. And,
so it's a Kickstarter and then THQ Nordic
way back because again that was the same guys that did the Flat Out series.
Gotcha.
That I loved so much.
Flat Out or Burnout?
Flat Out.
Okay.
So it was like the Demolition Derby, and then we had those. It had those games where you could like launch your driver out the window to get the distance, and you had bowling and all that stuff. The same guys that made that made this one.
No, I remember that.
Yeah, so that's why I like bought in instantly because I know that they know how to make a good demo game. So.
Gotcha. So it's basically Flat Out in everything but name.
Yeah, basically.
Gotcha. All right, and last but not least, Days Gone, high-profile one for Sony. That's been delayed till April 26th of next year.
Isn't that like the second or third pushback?
It has been pushed back a couple of times. Yeah. This one, however, has only been a couple of months, but they still say they're delaying it for polish.
Okay.
So it tells me after it's been delayed at least twice. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if maybe Sony doesn't have as much confidence in it as maybe you'd like to see for such a high-profile game.
It might have been one of those ones because they've worked on it so long that they had way more confidence at the start. They're like, people love zombies. Maybe. They're going to dig this open world kind of thing. And as it came along, it didn't really get the crowds going like they expected it to. So maybe they're trying to cram a few extra like abilities into it, or make the map bigger, or just to make it more interesting or something. I don't know.
Move it away from a Resident Evil release of some kind. Maybe?
I mean that too. Keep it at a safe distance from other really big releases.
I don't know.
Hope to soak up some of that cash from that.
But either that, or they're just spacing out first-party releases to bolster kind of an anemic PS4 release schedule for 2019.
Yeah, could be that too.
Because we're coming into the period where all that development is channeled to the next console for 2020. 2020. All right. So, anti-release is done. Let's get into it. For, what are we? Episode 44 we are.
I'm glad you're keeping track.
I am keeping track. I have one job.
Yeah, and J2, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is just like 5 years too late for the interest in zombies.
But they're not zombies. They're infected.
I know. You can call them whatever you want. They're
Yes.
Same MO.
To be frank, though, like they terrify me a lot more than seeing the same number of zombies like in Dead Rising.
Oh, absolutely.
Just
Because these ones
shambling.
run and turn into a fucking goo of some kind when they chase after you.
It would be like if the Flood from Halo were like 6 feet tall and ran at you.
Yeah, exactly.
And ate your face.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
They did a good job with that, like their swarm tactics or whatever the hell they called it.
Yeah.
Like it looks like something from a movie of like the crazy zombies like just chasing after you.
Before I played The Last of Us, however many years ago that was, like 2012.
Yeah.
It wasn't even on my radar at all. And easily one of the best games I've ever played in my life. So who knows? Days Gone, a lot of people, it's like playable from beginning to end apparently, and people are enjoying some aspect of it. Maybe they just need to punch it up a little bit.
Yep.
Who knows? All right, let's talk about Red Dead and some issues.
Right at the top of the hour.
Yeah. Well, I mean, someone brought it up in the chat, so we may as well just deal with this now. So there've been reports on Twitter and Reddit that some people who pre-booked Red Dead Redemption at Best Buy, they've been getting emails saying, "Oh, it's been delayed." Mm-hmm. But the delay that it shows on the email they've been getting is to like December of last year. So it's like it's been delayed to the past apparently.
Okay.
So Best Buy, sent out a notification. No, this is happening. You're fine. Everything's fine. How are you? The whole bit. It's just a glitch. They've corrected the issue. But the funny thing is, I got a very similar email myself from Amazon.
Okay.
And Amazon saying, "Oh, it's not going to ship for release day. It's going to be delayed." And
But it didn't put it to last year, though.
No. It was like a delay of like, I don't know, a couple of weeks, a month. I don't even know.
Okay.
So I called up their customer service, same thing. I had this pre-booked for roughly 2 years. How much pre-booking? Like, how far ahead do I have to pre-book to get this thing on fucking time? So no, they're like, "Oh, no, just a glitch. It'll be there on time. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
How are you?" So here's the other thing. Mom and pop game shops.
Yeah, see, this is the part I read
Right.
about. So
They've been saying that they're going to get the game a week later than big box stores are. Mm-hmm. So like your P&P Games and your tiny shops.
Yeah.
Everyone who's not like a Best Buy or we're talking even like GameStop is big enough, but right, that's everything below GameStop.
Yeah.
You're screwed
Exactly.
till roughly a week at least after launch. GameFly, if you're planning to rent the game,
Yeah.
they're not even going to ship it till November the 7th.
Oh, jeez, that's terrible.
Oh, who cares? Fuck GameFly. To be frank.
No, but still,
Developers don't see any of that money.
I know. That, to be fair, that's
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. But still, it's just really shitty and short-sighted at this point. Because welcome to the chat, Real Chili or Chile.
Hey.
Welcome to the chat. Hope you have a good time.
Maybe it's just Real Chill.
Real Chill.
I'm thinking there might have been someone else with Real Chill. He might be Real Chill.
Better than no chill.
That's true.
Yeah. So when I was reading about this, about the mom and pop stores, it was really unfortunate because they had a particular account from a guy who was saying that he runs this game shop.
Yeah.
And he was literally spending thousands of dollars putting these posters up, like helping them advertise, just to kind of boost his store, like saying like, "Yes, we are going to get this game. We're going to get it on time. You can pre-order here and everything."
Yep.
All of a sudden, he gets this shit in his email, basically saying, "Yeah, sorry, you're going to get your game like a week late, maybe more."
Yeah.
And then what happens? Gamers are impatient these days. What are they going to do? They're just going to go next door to Best Buy, to GameStop. They're going to download it digitally, and all of a sudden this dude's out all that money for his little tiny store. It's so sad to see, because again, growing up being in these stores all the time and stuff like that, I know kind of what it's like what the feeling is like there and everything, and I that's why I like to support the local and the smaller stores like that.
Hell yeah.
And it's just really unfortunate that these guys are kind of getting the blank end of the stick, and that really fucks me off.
I think it's probably safe at this point. I'm not talking out of school, but I used to work at a video shop, right?
Yeah.
many years ago. And, allegedly, let's just say that sometimes our store, which will remain nameless,
Yep.
occasionally would run out of supply in a thing. And we would go out and buy that thing that was on sale from, say, a place, Walmart.
Walmart.
or a shop like Walmart, not necessarily Walmart,
big box,
right? Like say for example we were out of PlayStations and they were selling them, and then we would just put them on the shelf at our actual price. So they would try to undercut us, and we would buy them out.
Yeah.
Like we would 4 or 5 people would go and buy them out, and we would just resell them. We'd only make maybe $5 on the whole deal.
But hey, you know what? That's someone in the door. That's someone looking at your product, not theirs.
Buying games.
And you pick up a console, you're going to leave with just a console? I don't think so. You buy a game with that, or 2 or 3.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, stuff like this, mom and pop shops, they're already, their margins are so small on new games.
Yeah, exactly.
I honestly think that there's no way you can keep enough in stock to really satisfy people. There's going to be thousands of them at friggin' Best Buy and GameStop and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just going to be highly allocated for the first bit. Apparently the game is even in more demand than they were expecting for a Rockstar game.
See,
which is shocking.
That's just mind-blowing. Like, again, with all the market research they've done and all the advertising they've done and stuff like that,
right?
How did they come up so short as to not have enough physical copies for something like this? This never happens now. Like, you go to some of the biggest games of the year, and you can still find them everywhere.
But at the same time, how often these days, like pre-booking used to be a thing where supply was an issue, like for cartridge games.
Yeah.
Ever since we've gone to like a digital format that, also had a disc available, pre-booking has been largely to get whatever incentive DLC, like at GameStop, where they have, an extra item for Assassin's Creed or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get a different item at Best Buy and a different item there.
Those could be so much.
So in any case, that's really the only justification to pre-book at this point.
Yeah.
Because why would you give money to a store where you can just find it anywhere?
Yeah, exactly. On Real Chill Hell, he remembers one Call of Duty release, a local game store actually went into a supermarket to buy the stock they had.
I wouldn't be surprised.
There you go. So same situation.
Any place that doesn't have a one per customer line,
Yeah, exactly.
Then they just go in a line and just, yep.
Yoink.
Yep. It happens.
Yeah.
Oh, well. In any case, will they have it at Toys R Us or Sears? Do they still have Toys R Us or Sears?
We do. Canadian Toys R Us is very much a thing.
Okay.
We're actually successful, whereas the States folded. And it's
what do you mean we? I don't own any stock.
No, but Canada.
Okay.
Like all Canadian Toys R Us, they're safe. Like they're actually well run and they're profitable. Whereas the States, they folded, and then apparently they didn't want it to go into that sweet night or whatever, so investors dumped back in.
Sure.
And now they're bringing back Toys R Us, but it's called Jeffrey's Toy Box.
Which sounds vaguely like a porn I've seen.
Well, I hope it isn't, because it's, children's toys, so that would just be fucking
Rule 34,
weird.
my friend. You can guarantee that you don't Google it. Whatever you do.
And John says, "Don't come whining when you didn't pre-order your download and they're out of internets."
Well, again, when we talked about it back during the Circle of Life days for GameStop, right, where they would actively send people away even though they had stock to give to them if they didn't actually pre-book, and that's just sleazy.
I know, it's ridiculous.
And I mean, I can see them doing that now for this when you have your mom and pop store can't even get the fucking stock. GameStop's gonna hold it for ransom.
Yep, exactly.
Because they're
they're dying a slow, painful death. So
allegedly, I gotta maybe I should check to see if they're a sponsor before I start bad mouthing GameStop.
Hey, we've had some issues in the past. We'll just leave it at that.
Allegedly.
That's all you have to do. Withdrawn.
Ben Stone taught me one thing. All right. So last week we talked about these messages that were going around that were bricking PlayStation consoles.
Yes.
So shockingly enough, people on the internet, sometimes they overreact.
Of course.
I know, it happens. It surprises me too.
Wait. Did somebody get offended by it?
Shockingly, no. But so this is the same sort of issue that they had with like the iPhone a while back. Random characters, it would cause the thing to crash, would cause all kinds of screw ups. So on the Sony console, it wasn't actually bricking consoles. So that was wrong, first of all. But it did cause like a crash loop.
Yeah.
But it was like a 5-minute fix, a factory reset. You delete your message on your phone app and you're done.
Wait. All right, Janus Marine says, Dan, turn your mug 15 degrees clockwise. Okay, so... There you go. How's that? That better?
Tell us about your real-time strategy free-to-play phone game.
You keep that shit to yourself.
We'll have that on the cup for next time.
Just written right down the front?
Yes, Janus Marines... free-to-play RTS mobile game. It's basically like PlayerUnknown's PUBG, except without any skill or
so you just
brand
have to,
recognition.
You'd have to turn it into a bunch of letters. Then,
Yes.
though, and then it would never make sense.
They'll be able to say it, I'm sure. It's the internet. Anyway, so so the internet blew it up. Big thing. I'm sure that there were some Xbots out there saying, "Oh yeah, destroyed my console, set it on fire. Screw you, Sony." For the PlayStation they don't have. So anyway, Sony support. They said the issue was not hard-breaking consoles, just a crash loop, just required a simple factory reset.
Yeah, because
It's a
even
5-minute fix.
last week we had talked about that. He said basically you could do this and all you would lose would be
Your messages.
your like settings and your messages or whatever.
Apparently you don't even lose your set. Well, you lose your settings because that's what a factory reset is, right? But you don't lose your messages apparently. So you have to go in through your phone, delete the message.
But you don't lose your messages?
Apparently not.
So you would keep the one that broke your system?
That's why you have to go in through the app on your phone, delete the message,
okay.
and
All
then
right.
do a reset.
Gotcha.
So anyway, apparently by the time it was reported, the fix was already in.
Oh, see, so it was again
Such a non-issue.
It was that simple too, and that's what I figured too. It's like because the system didn't understand a few characters.
Yep.
I figured, like I'm no techie or anything like that, but
Well,
that would have to be a pretty simple fix. To
In
get
a
rid of that.
situation like this, it's kind of the thing you want to get out there regardless,
Of
just
course,
in
yes.
case.
Yeah.
So
You
the
just
last
don't want
thing-
you don't want to force something out the door. You're like, there we go, that took care of that, and then it just has like another bug in it that just breaks it even worse.
Uh-oh. Okay. So that's been fixed. So you don't have to worry about that one anymore. Okay. Oh, also the New Game Plus, we were talking about that for Spider-Man. That launched last Friday.
Yep.
Finally. So they also added to the game, they tweaked some of the difficulty settings on the friendly mode, which is like the lowest difficulty setting, because it was a little unfriendly.
Yeah.
So that's been fixed, apparently. They've added, for those masochists out there, a brand new ultimate difficulty level.
Yep.
I was having trouble on normal.
I know, like that, and that's what I was talking about at the top of the show, was that I'm enjoying it on normal, and because it is like they give you all this, these amazing abilities and all this tech, but it can still be pretty difficult in some of those fights. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Like when you're in some of those kind of lockdown warehouses, and there's just like swarms of guys coming at you with like different types of weapons and attacks and everything.
That's why you learn to play with stealth.
Yeah, that shit. Well, you can only take so many of them out that way too, because eventually they will know.
After the first wave, basically, yeah.
Yeah, because once the first wave is done, then you have to, like, I think, kind of drop down and let them know that you're there.
Yep. They also added some quality of life updates to photo mode. There's now a shortcut button press to bring it up, as opposed to going into your menu and activating it.
Yeah.
Which was a pain in the ass.
And apparently they added, I think, more stickers too.
New frames and stickers, including a brand new puddle scaling technology.
I just saw that one.
Yep.
Because they had the photo of where it was, and they had these little emoji-looking puddles all over it. It was fucking awesome.
So right now, because of all the fake controversy, or if you're British, controversy, about, there was a puddle, it was bigger, they've, downgraded. You know, bullshit, first of all. So anyway, you can now, if you really wanted bigger puddles, you can put puddles everywhere.
Yep.
You can just sticker those suckers on as much as you want. Some sick fucking people at Insomniac, let me tell you. Okay, so this is now just in time with New Game Plus that I can go back and play the first chapter that is Spider-Man DLC, which drops tomorrow, which is The City That Never Sleeps, Chapter 1, The Heist, which will focus on Black Cat.
I think it'll be really cool to actually have interactions with her now, too, because I did, like, the chase sequence where you get the suit from it and everything.
Right.
And it was really cool because it wasn't just like, find these things and then you're done.
Yep.
That was actually building a story, and I really like how that leads up to the DLC rather than the DLC just being kind of like slapped on the side and be like, here's this thing that takes a few hours to play or whatever. Like I like how they actually had like a soft introduction to it.
Right. I mean, if they could integrate it into the game in such a way like Horizon they did with the Frozen Wilds. That was crazy.
Like it's somewhere, like it's a physical part of the map that gets tacked onto it, and you can just like walk there, and it just becomes one with the rest of the map.
We'll see. I know they're not adding any additional locations. Well, at least no extra map area. There might be locations within the map.
Yeah, exactly. Like more interiors of buildings and more events that are happening.
Right. So it also adds 3 new suits. We have Kane Parker's Scarlet Spider suit, the Spider UK look from the Spider-Verse, which is that new weird crossover thing. There's also, or that Spider-Geddon. I don't even know.
Something in the Spider-Verse.
It was an alternate Spider-Verse costume. And there's an original design costume by Marvel artist Gabriel Dialotto. I don't know him. Kelly and
is that really high-tech looking one or whatever?
Kind of look like, I don't know.
I can't remember. There was another one that looked similar to it.
It did.
Yeah.
It was like the Spectacular Spider-Man suit,
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
I don't know.
I like the Scarlet one. Like, it's just that red and black one with like the big red eyes and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that
Well, I
one
mean,
was
I've seen
really
that
cool.
one before, right, in previous games and stuff. So you won't have long to wait for the rest of it. It's going to be released one a month for the next 3 months, or not next 3 months, but I mean 2 months from now. So Chapter 2 is Turf Wars that releases in November, and Chapter 3 is Silver Lining releases in December 2018. So that'll keep you busy for the next 3 months, full of Spider-Man goodness.
Again, good on them, because this seems like DLC that's not only worth it, but I just like, again, how it's integrated, how it's planned out and everything. It isn't just randomly dropped. It isn't just a tack-on thing. Like, this feels like it's a natural continuation of what's happening in the story.
It will give you something to do between Red Dead Online prestiging.
Yeah. Janus Marine, don't get him started, all right?
Oh, what's this? We already had the Black Spider-Man rant.
Yeah, he had a tiny little rant at the top of the show.
I cleared my
so,
throat.
yeah.
I just cleared my throat and said the word symbiote.
That's why I said tiny.
If saying the word symbiote constitutes a rant, we're
We
gonna
all
have
what
issues.
you're thinking, all right? That's what it comes down to.
So it was an implied rant?
Look, Jack's really angry that the Black Spider-Man suit is not in the fucking game yet.
There's 2 other DLCs.
That's my point, okay?
Okay.
We're getting at least another like 5 or 6 suits.
Yeah.
So it's going to be one of them.
Well, you know, a lot of people were assuring me that Red Dead Redemption 2 had liar's dice in it.
Well, why don't you send him an angry email?
I
where's
just
my
might.
Where's my liar's dice?
I'm hoping that in November when they have the online, because right now it's looking like no liar's dice.
Yeah. That's okay. That'll be the DLC pack.
Yeah.
And you'll get skins for your dice.
I really hope so. Are they going to be like the symbiote skins for my dice?
Maybe. Who
That would
knows?
be awesome. All right. So Black Ops 4, that came out, Friday before last.
Yeah, and I saw it everywhere.
Yeah. Rumor has it that Activision likes money.
Yeah.
Yep. So in case anyone had forgotten that, you know, Activision and Call of Duty are the biggest swinging dick in the playground, they actually had this huge announcement that, you know, since you're not playing Fortnite right now, we've just made $500 million in the first 3 days of the game's release.
Are you fucking kidding me?
$500 million.
Wow.
First 3 days.
That's impressive.
Yes, and that's just, I'm assuming, the game and any
Because that's one of those
season
things,
passes.
It's kind of weird to me because we always, you know, we've been through this cycle so many times with the Call of Duty games, Battlefield, and everything like that.
Every year.
And it's the same cycle of like it comes out or you know, trailers come out, people complain about something about it or new mode or something. Where's my old maps? Like, you know, that kind of thing. It comes out and then it sells well and then it, you know, dies off and then the cycle continues. But with this one, like, I didn't expect it to sell numbers like that.
Yeah.
So they obviously did something right this year compared to previous years.
Yeah, they added Battle Royale.
I guess that's it.
Blackout mode, like a lot of people like the Blackout mode
Yeah.
in Call of Duty or COD Blops 4.
And this was, again, this Call of Duty, this is the one that they actually cut the single player
Entirely.
campaign from completely,
Right.
and added Blackout mode.
I mean, technically so did Battlefield 5, but I mean...
Battlefield 5 has always been an open range,
Yeah.
like fight everything all at the same time. Like that's always been its deal,
Right.
which doesn't bother me nearly as much
No.
because that was basically what
That's bad
Fortnite
company.
and PUBG was back in the day
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. So it's like that, except they can't handle 100 people at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So in any case, so they also wanted to remind people, oh yes, we're still, you know, the biggest thing since sliced bread. They gave us a bunch of like, you know, impressive sounding quotes. Let's see. For the first 3 days of the release, Black Ops 4 set a new Call of Duty franchise record for most combined players, average hours per player, total number of hours played on current generation consoles, combined number of Black Ops 4 players across its 3 modes of play during those first 3 days tops both last year's Call of Duty World War II as well as Call of Duty Black Ops 3 for the same period of time. So it's a bunch of nonsense sort of, hey, we're great.
Yeah.
Remember Call of Duty? I remember.
How could you forget?
Yeah. So, of course, you know, everyone loves Call of Duty. If they don't love it, they buy it anyway.
Yeah.
So they're making money hand over fist. So apparently, here's the thing, though. Apparently, for everything that's good about it, unlike the beta, the multiplayer actually has downgraded the performance of the servers.
Really?
Yes. Someone was doing some testing. Apparently, the server tick rate is down from 60 hertz or 60 ticks per second.
Yep.
In the beta, it's down now to 20 hertz.
Holy shit.
Right. So that's like just a little bit above what Battlefield 5 did during its beta.
Yeah,
which was
so that's-
everyone was complaining about.
That really strikes me as odd for a game that's really kind of pushing the limits of everything.
Right.
Especially because that, like, a lot of people that don't know what ticks are about is that's basically your online accuracy, more or less. Is if you hit someone, with a shot, and all of a sudden they duck behind a corner and then they die,
right?
That's a slow tick rate, basically. That when that contacts and they die instantly in front of you, you got your high tick rate at that point. So if they dropped it to a third of that.
Yeah. Essentially, it's your number of updates per second that's passed back and forth. So Treyarch was quick to respond to these reports, saying that, they indeed had reduced resources for their servers, but they're working on updates to improve the experience for the users. It's apparently related to the massive number of people playing online.
Oh, so they're going to, kind of finesse it over the next little bit to balance out with how many players are
theoretically, but you think about it. First of all, past Call of Duty games, you got to think, okay, who's going to start right away in multiplayer? Who's going to play the single player first? So they can kind of balance it that way. This way, there is only the multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly.
So how could they not have known they were going to need X number of servers?
It's all or none at that point.
This was a cost-cutting measure. They wanted to get the money from the initial sales, then buy some additional servers to bring stuff up again, and then tweak the code to maybe make new hardware a little bit less necessary.
Yeah,
they're definitely trying to shave those fucking coins.
Yeah, and Jay Tanuki, I mean, it's tale as old as time, right there. Sales like that, sales numbers like that makes her sad because there's so many more creative, passionate devs than AAA and games like that, and they just make so much more money than.
Justin Bieber makes a lot of money too.
That's a prime example right there.
Just because it's popular doesn't make it good.
And he has a team of people that just write his fucking music for him anyways.
Most successful restaurant in the world is McDonald's.
Yeah, but oh, stop! You've eaten there plenty.
I know, it's like when I just don't care.
When you've given up on life.
Yes, it's like the you have the one chart. It's like the Pareto chart. We got, okay, this is how far away the restaurant is versus how good the food is. Right?
I know they're not a sponsor. I do enjoy their coffee. They do have good coffee.
Again, it's fairly close to the studio.
Yeah.
So that proximity is a factor.
And Ruru too, of course. We all want 120 tick surfers, but that's
do we though?
That's not going to happen.
That seems excessive.
Well, you want your accuracy though. I don't think it needs to go as high as 120. I think 60 is fine.
Seems a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Those fries are good everywhere. I mean, there is that.
I mean, yeah, baby. Of course they are. I mean, you can never go wrong with the fries, honestly.
Well, the smell alone sells it, right? It's the mind control.
They've done that. I mean, like they pump that stuff out of the roof, and then you drive by and you're like, man, I'm hungry.
Put that shit in like an air freshener or something.
How have they not done that? Little French fry air freshener hanging from your rearview mirror. It smells like McDonald's French fries.
One of those heated oil Glade Airwick things, right?
With little fries sticking out the top of it.
They could even shape it like a fries. They could have a whole cross promotion.
Oh my god, how have they not done this? McDonald's, get on that.
And the stupid thing is, I'm fucking hungry for McDonald's fries.
There you go. See, you don't even need to smell them. You just talk about them, and it's those brain control drugs.
Yeah. So anyway, they even had pre-booking numbers. They knew what they were going to do. They knew what their sales were year over year over year.
Yeah.
So this was not a surprise to them. So they are definitely, it's just because it's so successful. And, bullshit. Plus, they already have your money. So,
I mean, that's kind of the sad part, too, is, again, just like a lot of big business, they're toting all this money that they just made, and then behind the scenes, they're just cutting costs left, right, and center. And
when they tout this to in their announcements, who they're doing it for is their investors.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, that's absolutely it.
Whereas, it's bait and switch. Oh, look at how great their beta played, and now it's chunk. Yeah. All right, so Shawn Layden, biggest fucking troll in advertising.
Is he the biggest?
Well, I mean, you think about,
he's up there
in terms of within the actual companies as opposed to just people at home.
Right, yeah.
Right? I don't know how many times he's come up with a shirt and we've just gone, oh!
Yeah. Oh, he loves to do that. The worst part is, though, he's not blatant about it. He comes out, the suit jacket has the one button done up so you can see, the top of it.
And he just casually...
then throughout the show, he's just kind of... The one button, walks across the stage... doesn't say look at my shirt, but
doesn't have
it's
to.
fucking there. We see
Yeah,
it.
the Crash shirt. He had like the fucking wipeout design that year.
There was the one he did taunt, the medieval one, because
Right.
he had it buttoned up the whole time. He's like, oh wait, one more thing, and he like unbuttoned and like showed it. And
One day he's gonna forget his shirt, and he's like, "Look, I've been working out."
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, giant frigging troll. So anyway, on this week's official PlayStation blogcast, Sid Schumann actually mentioned that Shawn Layden is going to be on next week's show.
Okay.
And he's going to be talking about Medieval specifically.
Okay.
Because they had mentioned it, I believe, at E3 last year.
Yeah.
And this year is their 20th anniversary from their original release on the PS1. So he says that they're going to have news about Medieval real soon.
I would think so, because I noticed a lot of these games, they're hitting their like 20-year mark, 25-year mark, 30-year mark, and there's all these like, remastered editions and like special editions coming out and everything like that. So yeah, you want to hit those marks because that's when everyone's talking about it and it's in everyone's eyes at that point.
I mean, like Halloween's in a week and a half. Their next release window is Tuesday. Like, drop the hammer.
Just fucking do it already.
Really? I don't know. Makes me wonder though what his next trolling shirt's going to be at E3 since he didn't get to do one at PSX this year.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a.
It's going to be like PS5 or something. And he's,
No. It'll still be one of those old like remaster type of things or something like that. Because there's still a few that we're waiting for. But
Goats of Sashimi.
Yes, Goats of Sashimi.
I don't know.
Not a remaster, just waiting for the full game.
That would be amazing. No, well, that's what it'll be. It'll be like an old Ace Combat 4 shirt or something.
Oh God, yeah! Don't even get him started.
Hey, we're already getting Ace Combat 5, which tells me they have to have the other ones in the pipe.
Here's to hoping.
I'm really
Again,
hoping.
it's you want all those remasters on like one disc or whatever. So
they're leaving money on the table if they don't, honestly. So anyway, so we're going back to speaking of remasters, talking about the Command and Conquer 20th anniversary. We talked about that last week.
Mm-hmm.
So
the real one, not the smartphone
the real one.
game.
No,
That's a free mobile app.
Rivals. We don't talk about Rivals. Yeah. So hey, Jay Tanuki, you wanna take care of that?
Yeah, I think Tron's on it.
Okay, somebody. And scene. So, 20-year anniversary is going to be in 2 years. So, series producer Jim Vaselli is actually, it's basically official. They're talking about this. He confirmed to Game Watcher that the game is going to be modernized in all but one significant way. He's confirmed there's not going to be any microtransactions.
Okay, thank you. That's. Didn't even have to ask for it. How nice.
Yeah.
What a concept. No fucking microtransactions in a 20-year-old game.
Hey, if Devil May Cry 4 can just wedge him in like that and no one noticed.
Yeah.
So, but he said that he's definitely also hearing the consistent theme around comments is bringing the C&C 3 style UI to the classic games.
Yeah, because it only got better as it went along.
Right.
I mean, obviously, quality of life choices and like all that kind of stuff, and just cleaning it up a little and everything. So I'm not surprised in the slightest.
It was like menus and sub-menus. I don't remember if you remember the original Command and Conquer, but it's like it was just a list of structures.
Yeah, it was,
and you click through the whole
list. It was literally just like you could barely see what they were because it was so kind of like grainy and pixelated and stuff like that, and it was like these little tiny buildings and everything. You're like, I hope I'm building the right thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't want to click through everything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is going to be modernized at least, and definitely the graphics obviously are going to be remastered. But he says other notes he mentioned include the obvious point that modern system compatibility will be a top priority for any remaster. But interestingly, he said one of the suggestions that he thought was kind of neat. Mm-hmm. He wants to have a separating of classic and rebalanced remastered versions into separate game modes.
Oh, okay.
I guess for multiplayer, just so people know like the original balance versus the new rebalance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's a big thing in multiplayer.
I totally agree with that. It's the same thing when you play like classic fighting games and stuff like that, because certain people are so set in their ways with certain ways of playing, because there's still people that play Command and Conquer to this day and they'll be set on playing it like the old way. But it's nice that they're actually going to have those separate like that. I think one of the only things that I hope that they do, because they're remastering, it'll obviously be like full 3D and everything, is I would love to have it so you have that camera where you can kind of swoop down onto the battlefield and actually watch everything happen in front of you, rather than just it hanging above and just seeing like all the little guys dance on the map and everything.
So you want like a...
Because you could do it in, I think, Warcraft 3. That's when they added it, because everything was fully polygonal. Like it was full 3D, so you could swing the camera down and actually watch it as if you were like watching over the battlefield rather than like more top down.
Yeah, now that they're not just sprites.
Yeah,
it'd
yeah,
be
exactly.
Easy enough to do.
Plus, I mean, you know, so many of those games are pushing so many like particle effects and everything like that. It's going to look glorious, I think.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
It depends on how deep they want to sink money into it.
Yeah.
Because it's been a long time since we've had a proper Command & Conquer game, so we'll see.
I know. Either way, I mean, even if it's, you know, even half as good as I'm thinking in my head it's going to be, it's still going to be damn entertaining.
Apparently James Marine is a Highlander now.
Well, better not tell people that because they'll know exactly how to get rid of you then.
Well, he's on holy ground. He can't do shit.
Oh, on holy ground.
Yes, it's important. That's the important thing. I don't even remember. I think they actually touched on that in the show, like what it did. It like cracked the earth open as a big catastrophic
What,
event.
the holy ground?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was like it was a thing for a reason.
They had lore, they just didn't bother exploring it.
Well, the movies weren't real big on answers.
yeah, yeah.
Not answers that didn't lead you to Planet Zeist in any case. We don't talk about the movies either. So, speaking of weird portents and dangerous magics, we've read some chicken entrails, and it turns out the times of uncertainty are almost upon us.
Okay. Lay it on me. I'm ready.
Xbox Mexico has officially confirmed that at next month's XO18 event in Mexico City, they'll be hosting a public playable demo of Crackdown 3.
Oh, there it is. Yep. It's about fucking time.
So
Jesus Christ.
They had a behind closed doors demo at Gamescom in 2017. That was the last time anyone seen fucking Crackdown.
Okay.
And a lot of people's impressions were
meh. So was this kind of that whole thing of like, well, let's just take this back to the shop and give it a little bit of a tune-up?
Well, I mean, they've been tuning it up for longer than the Xbox One has been a thing, so...
yeah, baby. We're talking about Crackdown 3. So they're
Crackdown 3.
They're going to finally have a public demo of it.
This was literally the thing that I've been waiting for that would have made me purchase an Xbox One.
Yeah, exactly. That was the thing that was really one of the few things they had in the chamber that was just like, oh, maybe I will have to buy an Xbox at this point. So, and it's finally in demo mode for public next month. So.
And that was well before they started talking about, you know, the Play Anywhere system.
Yeah.
So now it's still like we're right at the end of the generation. I likely won't buy one, but it's nice to see finally we're getting Crackdown.
But this is all the type of thing, like you have a nice rig, so it might just be the type of thing that Microsoft...
Oh, my computer. Like, I thought you were complimenting me in other inappropriate ways.
Hey, calm down. No, it'll be the one that you can play. You'll be able to play Microsoft games, like Microsoft Games for Windows or whatever their store is. You'll be able to play it on the computer anyways.
The Windows Store.
Windows Store. I guess they downgraded it just to the Windows Store now.
Well, I mean, it's through the Xbox app on Windows that you're purchasing through the Microsoft Store, so it's all...
I still don't even have Windows 10 on my computer, so I don't see any of those fancy buttons for any of that stuff.
Well, it doesn't matter. So if you want to see it, it's going to be streaming on Mixer November 10th, live from the X18 event. This has been in the pipe since 2014, so we...
Yeah, it's been too fucking long.
Long overdue.
John says pre-order the Mex Boxico 1 XS for your copy of Crackdown 3.
Mex Boxico 1.
Yeah, and baby.
XSA.
Crackdown 2, was not good enough to purchase an Xbox, so...
And yet he didn't call it Crackdown Tres. That's an obvious miss.
One slip up.
It's an obvious miss. And you're right.
I really hope 3 is good because I did like the series, but you're right. 2 wasn't
great.
It didn't hit the note like the first one did. Like the first one was a just balls out crazy. Like it reminded me of playing like a Saints Row game almost. Like it was just insane fun.
The difference being that Saints Row games only got better.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
Whereas 2 kind of went downhill after that, and then 3 we'll just have to wait and find out.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath at this point. I don't even...
not like you don't have anything else to play till then anyways.
Well, yes. So speaking of other things to play, Bethesda Game Studios wants to just take a moment to remind everyone that Fallout 76 is still a thing. And it's going to be out in like 3 weeks.
Do they really need to do that? I mean, honestly.
Well, I mean, like, is anyone excited for this?
There are definitely people that are still excited for this.
Are there?
Yes, there are. Just because the hype isn't hanging out in the DF studios here.
No. I mean, what I am hearing is that there are a lot of people. There's some people who are the online players that are interested cautiously. I'm hearing a lot of hesitation. I'm hearing a lot of like qualifications and hedging bets.
I think it's just they're in that moment where people are coming into Halloween, they're coming into the holidays. There's lots of games coming out, big ones like Red Dead and everything like that. So beyond advertising, I think they're literally just kind of just nudging people and like, yes, this is still happening. I know you're fucking nose deep in Fork Knife right now, but the next big online thing is coming, and it's Fallout 76. So
see, Carzatron he says yes, it's Fallout, so I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, it's like saying I liked Halo, so Destiny is roughly the same thing. I mean, it's obviously two different things, but if Halo was Destiny. Exact same comparison of game type. Yeah. Made by the same people. It's the same.
See, and Real Chile is, he's excited for it. So.
See, I was excited for it. And the more I heard about it and its games as a service model, the more cautious I've been.
I think it'll be one of those ones that I would personally hang back and wait to see the first couple of weeks to see people actually react to it in real time. Properly have played it. They didn't play like a demo on the showroom floor or behind closed doors, so it was like a cut of the map or something like that. I want to see it out in the real world and see what people are actually saying when they've had real world interactions with each other.
I'm gonna try and get a hold of a beta key for next week.
That'd be sweet.
And see because I'm gonna need to see this in action.
Yeah, and that's the thing is if you can get your hands on that, then sure, go for it. Then you'll have that first person experience, and you'll be able to say yay or nay.
I mean, it seems like it's going to be largely a PvE co-op kind of thing with a little multiplayer thrown in. Like I don't know. Like is it going to be like your servers are going to be organized where it's PvE? It sounds like they have some kind of PvE flags that you can turn on and off. It's voluntary.
I feel that they're going to kind of balance it as they go along too, because again, coming out of the gate, I don't know if they even know exactly what this game is still. Yeah. They've just kind of made this awesome Fallout flavored toolbox, and they're throwing it out to the people, and then they're going to shape the game as they kind of see it.
Here's a quote, a nice, fantastic quote. He says, "Remember, it is a survival game, so we found early in playtesting that people were like, his character's going to go away in 3 hours, so I'm going to use all my stim packs and ammo. But when you're playing for real, you'll make very different decisions. Do I really want to kill this guy with my one fat man shell, or do I want to save it for the Scorch Beast because it took me hours to get it?" You do make different decisions when your characters are quote-unquote real. So, again, a lot of games as a service whiff coming off of that. Yeah. And especially when they're talking about, every time I hear something about this, we mentioned it before, it reminds me a lot of Metal Gear Survive, kind of the mentality.
Yeah, because it's about base building. It's about, different types of waves of enemies. But there's also exploring and finding other people in the environment. So
he's talking about, spending hours to get one Fat Man shell, which is a resource that you use. It's consumable.
You have to question if, is that the norm? Yeah. Or is this just a really extreme example that makes it sound more interesting to people that enjoy that kind of situation?
I mean, to be fair, in the actual game, except in, I think, Fallout New Vegas, where you could create them. I think Fat Man shells, there was always a finite number of them. Yeah. There's only 10 or 15 or something.
They were so OP that...
Portable nuke. I mean, come on.
And yeah, baby. I mean, the real hype train is Cyberpunk 2077 anyway.
That's true. Well, I mean, now that Red Dead is going to be out in a week, right? After that is,
again, we've talked about it before, but again, my two games of my entire life are coming out in the next couple years, and I couldn't be more excited.
Cyberpunk's gonna be big.
Cyberpunk 2077 and Ghost of Tsushima. So yeah,
Goats of Tsushima.
Yes, Goats of Tsushima, as we like to call it.
Yeah, next year's gonna be interesting.
And J2, of course, Kingdom Hearts 3. It's not like that's going to set the world on fire or anything like that.
Well, I mean, they do have now that, the Story So Far edition.
Yes, yeah. She was actually talking about that up there, too. Yeah, so
which
that's
nice.
Everything, boom, one place, go.
Which is nice. It's like getting a box set for a band that you've never heard of before. It's like, I've got nothing by this band. Now I have everything.
Everything. Go exploring.
Really?
Enjoy.
It's like you really, if you know nothing about something, are you really wanting to buy everything all at once?
Yeah.
I don't know. So anyway,
sorry, Necro, and yes, we're not ignoring Thronebreaker. I just don't know much about it.
well, Thronebreaker is for one thing. First of all, I really have to get into The Witcher at some point when I have 500 hours to blow.
Yeah, exactly. It's a dangerous slope on that one.
Yeah, because I mean, I have the first two Witchers with everything, and I've not yet purchased the third one. because I always end up in the situation where, you know, Good Old Games will have a sale or something at
As
Christmas.
always, yeah.
It'll be like, and CD Projekt Red has ridiculous sales where it's like, buy our gold edition, it'll be $12 for 18 minutes. And
Yeah, exactly.
so I'll throw it in my Steam library and then I won't play it for 6 years. So anyway, it's up there. I have to get into The Witcher. But I mean, I would have to play Witcher to understand Gwent, and then I would have to like Gwent to then be interested in Thronebreaker.
Yeah.
And then I would have to be interested in Thronebreaker.
So, like I said, it's a slippery slope
It is.
because there's so many games all
Yep.
tied together, and there's so much lore there, and
No.
and just it's a huge time investment.
Now, if suddenly there was an adventure game based on Triple Triad, because I'm already, you know, up to speed there, might be a whole other thing. So
Necro says, "How can you not like Gwent?
I don't know what Gwent is.
Isn't Gwent the card game?
It is the card game.
Yes.
But I mean, like, there's lots of card games. I don't like every card game.
Yeah, Necro, just gonna put this out there. I'm not a huge fan of card games. I had like a little stint with Hearthstone, just because it was like a simplified card game. Because I'm an idiot when it comes to that stuff. So I'm not a fan of probably what Gwent is putting out because I'm just not good at card games. So that's not my jam. But there are lots of people that love that shit.
So before we go back to Fallout here, just while we're on the topic, do you say Hearthstone? Because I like
Hearthstone.
Is that
It's
specific?
like a hearth. Like
You mean like a hearth?
Hearthstone? I don't know.
You've heard of like home and hearth?
It's literally it's spelt Earthstone with an H on it. So I
guess.
don't know.
But I mean,
Hearthstone?
I mean, I don't know if there's an official pronunciation.
Tell me how to say it, and I'll say it that way.
I'm not, you know, I don't play the game.
Because I don't really care. I mean, I'm done with the game anyways.
It's kind of like one of those GIF versus GIF discussions.
Oh God, don't get me started on
See,
that.
I don't care what the designer of the thing says.
Those are so night and day
No.
as compared to Hearth and Hearth.
I guess controversy.
Don't say that. You'll get stuck.
So, Darksiders 3.
Yes.
Oh, actually, pardon me. Before I go on, let's go back
were
to
saying something
Fallout.
about
Yes.
Fallout.
So Fallout. Some people, they're kind of taking a lackadaisical approach that it's a Fallout game. They're throwing a bunch of shit together and send them out into the wasteland and let them fuck each other up. And so there's a bunch of fans were looking at the thing and they said, okay, we're in West Virginia. All right, opposite side of the country. Oh, by the way, the Brotherhood of Steel, they're there too in 2077. And people who know anything about Fallout, they're like, back the fucking truck up. What?
Yep.
Because they're all like underground in a bunker. This was not a thing. So they came back and they said that, you know, Todd Howard, I'm not the lore guy. You know, or I'm sure it was Todd Howard or it was Pete Hines. I don't know which, but he was like, whoa, okay. So back up there was like the William Shatner fan moment. It's like, it's just a TV show, kid.
Yeah.
So they basically responded by changing the continuity.
Really?
Yes. So they say November 2077, a month after the Great War, Army Captain Roger Maxon arrived with survivors at the Californian bunker of Lost Hills. There he formed the Brotherhood of Steel, who used a functioning satellite to extend their reach across America all the way to Appalachia. So hand wavium and go.
Yeah. Just shows how open-ended it is, really, that they can just kind of do that.
Well, I mean, yes, it's their IP to do with as they see fit, but you would think internal consistency, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Fans are not happy. Like the diehards are.
Yeah.
Actually,
How dare you? How dare you screw up our lore?
yeah. So that's gonna be out October the 23rd, which is like, is that tomorrow? That can't be out tomorrow. That must be maybe that's a beta.
That must be the beta, because it definitely would have been on the release list if if it was tomorrow.
I think it's in November at some point.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
I think I would have paid a little bit of attention if it's coming out on Red Dead Redemption Week. It's like one other reason that this game is not going to be like Fallout numbers.
Yep, Tron, they use their remaining satellite to get to West Virginia of all places.
Yes, Necro, I do admit I did not put down Thronebreaker on my list.
Yeah, and Thronebreaker is tomorrow.
Thronebreaker is tomorrow.
We fully acknowledge that Thronebreaker is coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, the list we talk about are just kind of our picks, not necessarily our
And
comprehensive list.
Necro, clearly being a fan of Thronebreaker, come back next Monday and tell us how it is.
I mean, it really strikes me as kind of like the equivalent of what Warhammer Quest was.
Oh, okay.
So it's like kind of
It's like a hybrid almost.
except it uses the card game.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I mean, I'd just straight up rather play The Witcher. In any case, moving on. So, So THQ Nordic,
Yes.
right? You know, they bought up the
everything.
pretty much they assimilated all the games. So Darksiders 3 is going to be released November 27th, which is going to be a Gunfire game, which was out of the ashes of Vigil games. Became Gunfire games.
So do you know if it was mostly the same team?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Largely. And then they just filled out whoever they didn't get back. But they're going to be releasing their first original Darksiders game since they assimilated the series back in, I don't even know, 2-3 years ago now at this point.
Yeah.
Back when they were still like Nordic games. So Reinhard Paulus, who's the business and product development director at THQ Nordic, he confirmed the game's average length. So, first of all, if you're worried that this game is going to be a lot of grind,
yeah,
apparently it's not.
Okay.
Like, by a lot. It's not going to be a grind.
That's good.
It is and it isn't good.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing is like 2 technically could have been tightened up just if it wasn't so grindy. Because 2
was more open-ended.
2 was more open-ended, but it was enjoyable enough that I could have done without some of the extra outer world stuff going on and still thoroughly enjoyed the game. So
it's kind of
I'm wondering if 3 they've tightened it up a little to make it a more thorough experience.
It's kind of like when I talk to PowerPix.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, this game was terrible. I hated it." And I was like, "What are you talking about? That game was fantastic." Because it's like you're coming at it from the perspective of I had to do all of these things to get a platinum versus I just played the game and was done. So sometimes that does skew your perspective. Like the grind on 2 to get the platinum trophy took a bit of time.
Yeah. So
anyway,
when they're saying it's not grindy?
Yeah. So he says, playtime is always a tricky question as it depends on numerous factors. On average, we would say somewhere around 15 hours plus.
Okay.
Which he says is similar to the first Darksiders. Now, first of all, that's kind of troubling because developers tend to aim on the high side of average.
Yeah, because they want to pad it out. Unless they are thoroughly in like the 20, 30, 40-hour range or whatever, then they're more than happy to say that.
And I remember the original Darksiders taking me a bit longer than 15 hours.
Yeah, it was definitely, I think my total time with it was about 18 hours or something like that.
I don't know. And I mean, I've played it again since then, and I did like the original Darksiders.
Yeah.
But, 15 hours seems a bit short for a modern AAA game. Now, I mean, granted, you look at like the original God of War on PS2, it's like a 3 or 5 hour game.
Yeah.
And it's an excellent game. But Darksiders and God of War, not necessarily.
Bit of a different experience there anyways.
So I don't know.
Has anyone got platinum on World of Warcraft? It doesn't work that way, man. It doesn't.
Man,
I mean, there's people that have all of the
that's insane.
Achievements
like,
or whatever.
They have like achievements in the game.
Oh,
and
they
keep
absolutely
adding them all
there
the time.
are. I don't even know how many. There has to be like fucking 5,000 achievements or something in the game.
I've lost track of how many expansions there's been.
At least
6 or 7.
6 or 7, I think, something like that. Necro liked 2 over 1 for the Dark.
I mean, I
Darksiders.
did because there was okay. It's kind of like the argument about Mass Effect, right? Mass Effect 1 was good for variety, and for the customization, whereas Mass Effect 2 was good that you didn't have 8 million pieces of armor in your fucking inventory to manage. So it was kind of a
so like 1 and 2 is very much like that because 2 it has an embarrassment of riches when it comes to armor and weapons and everything like that.
Well, the first one, it was like just vendor trash. You would basically sell off everything you didn't need. You'd have 14 different types of the same fucking armor.
Yeah.
But, and then 3 kind of overcorrected in the opposite direction, and it doesn't matter. Long story short, I think 2 was good, but there was just so much stuff, and the whole legendary upgrade system was a little bit wonky. I got by.
I appreciate that they tried to do something different, but it didn't quite work out. So I hope that's kind of part of the stuff they kind of toned down in the third one. I like the variety. I like being able to upgrade my armor and my weapons.
Yeah.
They just went a little overboard in 2.
Well, I mean, they could really take a good lesson from the modern Assassin's Creed games, like Origin and Odyssey. Both had that capability to upgrade your equipment to your current level. So that you'd never have, now that they have levels in the game, you'd never have equipment that, oh, this is great, but it's so low level, it's useless to me.
And see, that's kind of the unfortunate part too, because I've had a few sets in that game where I really liked how they looked, but they were completely useless because they were lower level. And I'm like, oh, I want to use this for the rest of the game. It looks so awesome. Especially some of the scythes that he gets. Like, they're just so intense looking.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Going back to the original rebooted Tomb Raider game.
Yeah,
back,
Tomb Raider 2015, 2016, something.
It was like earlier than that, wasn't it? It was like 2013, wasn't it?
Was it that early? Jeez.
Because it was on both the PS3 and the Xbox 360, and then they had the definitive edition.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Because don't forget, that was originally an Xbox. Was it an Xbox?
2013.
Yeah. Because that was originally an Xbox One exclusive for the first year.
Yeah, 2013. So there you go.
Yes. So in any case, what was that, an Xbox exclusive? I don't remember the original one. I believe it was an Xbox 360 exclusive for the first year.
It was a timed exclusive.
Timed exclusive for 1 year, and then they did the same thing for.
But then the nice part is when it came to PlayStation, it had all the extra content with it, basically.
Right. The definitive edition, not the definitive edition. So anyway, like we know with Square, they have issues with sales targets sometimes being over optimistic.
Yeah.
So
more than once.
we had like Sleeping Dogs fell victim to that. Deus Ex more than once fell victim to that. Just Cause fell victim to that. So it performed really well, but either their budget was whack.
Not up to snuff with what they expected of it.
Right. So when Sleeping Dogs sold like 1 million copies after they saved it off the scrap heap when True Crime said, we're not going to publish this, somehow, this gem in the rough, this diamond in the rough, did not make as many sales as they would have liked it to. So no Sleeping Dogs 2, unfortunately. So Shadow of the Tomb Raider was released September the 14th. And sales have been okay, but not fantastic. They're not as good as last year's. Not last year's, but the last Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Has a Metacritic of 76, which is, not good, it's not bad. It's average.
Above average, but not in that great territory.
Well, for a AAA game you're spending this kind of money on, you want over 80 at least.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like there have been trolls like bombing scores or anything like that. Like this came out, and I do have to admit that I remember when the second game came out, because there's so much fanfare, both from fans and from Square themselves. Like,
the second game was definitely much better than the first.
Yeah, and
I've only heard that the third game is like it doesn't really live up to that.
Yeah, and like from what I've seen a few bits and pieces here and there of like different Let's Plays of players playing it, and it's like it looks really nice.
Yeah, but
I feel like it's just treading old ground. Like it really doesn't look like it's done anything new.
Right.
And it's kind of unfortunate because the previous games were good, but again, they've never been my darlings anyways. I know that there's a lot of people out there, they swear by those games.
I mean, I liked Tomb Raider mechanically when it was the original versions of the game and the PS2 and the PS3. Then Uncharted came along and suddenly, I mean, the traversal and everything and the climbing, that was interesting, but Uncharted, I think, did all of that and then added sort of an interesting story and interesting characters. Because Lara as a character, I've never really been on board with. She was kind of cold and bland and, oh, yes, she's the hyper-competent, no, I can't get involved in relationships kind of, I mean, and you still had like a strong female character that was like a human character in Elena. Right, so it's like the best of both worlds. You had this core adventuring group, and they go off, on adventures. So Uncharted then became the series that Tomb Raider then tried to emulate to get back with the reboot, right?
Yeah.
So Tomb Raider sort of take Uncharted and combine it with Far Cry, and that's what the latter-day Tomb Raider reboots are.
Yeah, I think the main difference between those
and
ones
British,
that always kind of changed it for me was from Uncharted to Tomb Raider is that playing all the Uncharted games and then going playing the first two Tomb Raider games, it felt like a kind of like a cheaper action movie version of what Uncharted was doing.
Yeah,
like everything, like the mechanics were there. It played well and everything like that. And it looked really nice, but everything felt more like quick action.
So you're talking about like
smaller set pieces and everything, even though they tried to show like, oh, here's this background and here's what's happening. I always felt like I was in a little box environment.
So which Tomb Raider are you talking about now? The 2013 one?
Like yeah.
Okay.
So it was like, because I'd played the Uncharted games,
right?
And even with the first one, it still felt a little more sprawling in certain areas. Other ones felt, enclosed or whatnot. But as the games went on, those giant set pieces, you felt like you were in that environment. Whereas with Tomb Raider, even when you're in the middle of a forest, you're on a cliffside and stuff like that. I still felt like it was in like a boxed area that was just like go here to here. Like
it's kind of the same problem you have with a hub and spoke design where you can effectively backtrack and they have to maintain the states of all those areas compared to Uncharted where it's like a linear progression. It's the same thing with BioShock, the difference between BioShock 1 and 2, because BioShock 1, you could backtrack to areas you've been to over and over again. So they had to keep all of those available. It really limited what they could do with the game, whereas BioShock 2, they can do all these big set piece bits because, you know, it's strictly level to level to level, and then they're done. So you see the same thing in Tomb Raider because it is just, you know, hub and spoke. You go over the same terrain more than once.
Yeah, and it's just again, just in their animations and everything like that, facial animations, their physical like body animations and what they're doing, everything feels a little more canned, and it feels a little more like quick, like Hollywood action type thing. Like just when bodies like fall and roll, or when you swing on a rope and stuff like that, everything feels just much more like a canned animation. Whereas in the Uncharted games, like I don't know how they did their mocap, but everything just feels much more natural. Like it does. Like one of the things that always gets me, and this is in any game ever, vehicles in cutscenes tend to bother me because they don't act like an independent vehicle.
I'm sorry, Jetski says what?
It's and that's the thing is like whether it's in game or in a cutscene or whatever. When I notice a vehicle actually acting like a vehicle in a cutscene, I love it. Like big thumbs up for that, because a lot of the time cutscenes get vehicles completely wrong because it's like a canned trail animation for whatever vehicle's happening. So the wheels are spinning faster than it's driving, or the wheels are turning before the vehicle's actually turning, and like it's just these weird kind of bits and pieces like that. And I noticed that a lot in Tomb Raider, whereas in Uncharted, as the games went on, it got better and better. Like the whole truck sequence where it's chasing you down the alleyway, and then in Uncharted 4, when you have like the Jeep sequence where you're hanging off the side of it and everything, those are like fucking bang on. So they only got better as those went on. So I haven't seen a lot of 3 yet, of Tomb Raider 3. So I don't know if there's a bunch of those sequences or if there's cutscenes with that stuff in it, but I just want to see if they've upgraded those animations.
Yeah. So we've come full circle back to actually, since we're taking a shit all over Tomb Raider for no reason. There was a point there we just got on this big tangent.
I'm just discussing shortcomings. I'm not saying it's a bad game.
No, we just went off onto this big tangent about Tomb Raider, but they're all on rails. I'm not sure what Rurutu was talking about there. I'm assuming it was all the animations for the Uncharted bits. Too many times I've seen a Ford acting like a Chevy and they just can't pull it off. I mean,
I'm not that nitpicky, so
I wouldn't even buy an American car inside a game. I'm just saying, you know, Gran Turismo, nope, not buying an American car. Anyway, so sales have been okay, but not fantastic. Going back to Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Last week, the game went on sale for the first time, effectively, and they cranked off 35% off the top.
Oh, that's big for a game that came out like a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
basically a month ago. It was like September the 14th, so a little over a month ago. The sale ended yesterday.
Okay.
So of course the internet rage machine just went into high gear. So people are review bombing the shit out of the game now.
Okay.
Yeah. So it sits at mixed. So I mean, this is the logic of the internet.
So wait, it went on sale. So people bought it just to give it a shitty rating?
No, people bought it, and the people who had bought it originally at the full price review bombed it because they paid more.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
So this is the logic. Okay, I love Tomb Raider, so I'm going to buy it at full price. Then I'm going to find out somebody else is buying it for cheaper a month after the fact because this game didn't sell well, so I'm going to make it look like the game didn't sell well because it's bad. So they're never going to make another game in the series that I liked enough to pay full price for.
What a concept. They're torpedoing the series that they paid full price because they love it so much.
I mean, I understand. I mean, Jesus Christ. I understand some people just don't have the money to buy it new. That's fine.
Yeah.
But when you're playing these stupid chicanery games behind the scenes, it's self-defeating. Like, who does that help?
Yeah.
It doesn't help the developer. It certainly doesn't help you get a sequel to the game you like. If you didn't like the game and you paid $70 for it, complain then.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like, I don't know. This game isn't worth $75. Complain then.
Yeah,
Not, oh, someone's paying less for this game. Somehow that affects my enjoyment of it a month ago. Retroactively, I have enjoyed this game less now.
Fuck you guys for buying it cheaper. I'm going to torpedo this so that we never get another one and there will never be another discount.
So, I mean, I understand Square having unrealistic sales targets. That's fine, but it does not affect people's reactions to the game.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
It doesn't make any sense.
But then, you know, the internet can be really dumb sometimes.
Anyway. So, on the topic of realistic sales targets, let's talk about Yakuza.
Okay.
So, with Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, released this year for PS4, I think it came out for PS4 in Japan roughly around the same time. It's the first time ever that a Yakuza game has sold as much in the West as it did in Japan.
Oh, really?
Right. So, like the last 2 years, ever since Yakuza 0, it's been growing and growing in popularity. Now we are on par with Japan's sales.
And that was basically it. That was the whole point of that, is that they brought out these remasters and everything like that to say, hey, you know, get introduced to the story, check this shit out, and obviously it worked.
Yeah, I would go beyond calling it just a remaster. Even they had a bunch of new content to Yakuza Kiwami that wasn't in the original version.
Well, I mean, there was Zero, there was cool.
Zero is a prequel. So that's like a brand
But that's
new
the
game.
whole thing is we got fed those games because they didn't have to do that. They could have literally just dropped 6 in our lap and be like, well, here you go. I hope you like it. But no, they went all out and they said, hey, check out these games. Here's the beginning of the story, and here's some remasters and with some extras.
Yep.
And clearly it worked. So now I think it's only a matter of time before I have everything in one place.
Which is why it really makes sense to me now why their current questionnaires, they're talking about the localizing the side stories that we never got.
Yeah.
Like the samurai ones and the
one
two
that
different
you really
eras.
want. Yeah.
Oh, man. It's got to be better than Dead Souls. I mean, shit. It was such a terrible spin-off. So
They can't all be winners.
No. Well, that one didn't even make it near the game. So this is a series landmark for them. They're saying it's not even a huge number of sales. It's like under 1 million for that game worldwide. So Yakuza games don't tend to sell a huge amount, but those people that play them really like them.
It's a smaller but dedicated fan base.
So they've only sold, their whole franchise has only sold about 11 million copies of the game in total. So we're not talking Call of Duty numbers at all.
No, of course not.
Sega, though, is now seeing that, yes, for the amount of investment in a Yakuza game versus like a sequel to Alpha Protocol.
Yeah. Keep going.
You know, it's a small investment, like a big return on investment, and it has a long tail on it because people are now just discovering Yakuza for the first time.
So that again, they've opened up a whole new market that's now selling equal. So they've, you know, that money's on that table there now. So I'm glad that they did it.
They've come full circle now, and they're doing the re-releases. So they have the Kiwami, and then they'll do the PS3 to PS4 remakes of 3, 4, and 5, which will be great.
Genius Marine, nope, not gonna happen. Just because you did that, I'm gonna give it a 1-star review.
For which?
For his chat there.
Be sure to only leave positive reviews for new free-to-play RTS for mobile devices. Lucky best time. How is it a successful franchise? Is the real Yakuza using it to launder money? Here's the thing. You know, that would be hilarious.
Is there anything real tied up in there?
Here's the thing, right? Yakuza games are not that expensive to make. First of all, obviously they don't spend any goddamn money promoting it in the West. Yeah. Because they just don't.
No.
So
it's all word of mouth.
Literally just word of mouth.
You don't see billboards and bus ads of Yakuza.
And in Japan, I mean, it's not Dragon Quest, but, you know, people who like Yakuza games, and I imagine a lot of the sales of the game in Japan are from people in the Yakuza. I'm not even joking, because they like the concept of like it's unrealistic, but like the noble Yakuza, the whole bit. Like they get a bit of a sort of like a vicarious thrill.
It glorifies it a little bit.
And you beat fucking Takeshi in Yakuza 6, so it's like, how much more legit can you possibly be? Yeah. So anyway, long story short, they also do a lot of reusing of assets, because Kamurocho is basically the same set piece game to game with some logical progression in terms of changes in the city. Yeah, exactly. So it feels like a real city changing over time.
So that's why this can still be a very successful series on 11 million total sales.
Yes.
because they don't have to dump in $500 million like Rockstar does on a new game, because
Right.
they can keep either using the same thing or just remodeling after the same thing, which saves them a lot of money.
Yeah, that definitely saves them a lot of money. They can just like start with what they had, make a few tweaks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot less money.
TK Star, welcome to the chat.
Hey, TK Star, how you doing? I haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah, because that's basically what it comes down to, is because you're not playing the same game again and again,
No.
but you're in that same area, so you really get to know it well, and and they only have to add like incremental changes to it.
See, I think people, when they think about Yakuza, if they even think about Yakuza, they think about it as just a mindless sort of like a Streets of Rage kind of game, when in reality it's more of an RPG than anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an RPG with fighting game
It's
mechanics.
much more story heavy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Much more story heavy. Because I mean, in reality, like over the course of the games, there have been so many just plot threads and twists and turns and like political machinations between the families. It's ridiculous. So I'm really glad that it's now getting some additional scrutiny, that people are starting to wake up to it. And now it's a perfect jumping in point that we have 0 and 1 and 2.
Well, like I said, it's only a natural progression now to get it all in one place. You get every single remaster, and then the new ones like on PS4.
Yep.
You can play through the entire series on one console. That's definitely the way to do it.
Indeed. It sounds like the Telltale Games model. No, because Yakuza 6, their engine works, and when they went to a new system, they improved the engine.
Yep, that is true.
Full 3D. None of this, we're just going to use the same engine, hope that the hardware...
broke-ass engine.
Yeah, hope the hardware catches up. Anyway, so Devil May Cry 5. So, you know how Star Citizen, they have, shitloads of DLC and it costs you a crap load of money?
That's true, but it's also Star Citizen. That is such a different beast than anything that's ever been before.
That's because Devil May Cry 5 it will come out at some point, first of all.
That's true.
Yeah, but Capcom has a number of, shall we say, limited edition packages for its release in Japan.
Oh no, is this like a Best Buy, GameStop online, like different versions that you have to buy from different places?
I don't think it's necessarily that.
Oh, okay.
But it's a heck of a lot better than it comes with a dinky little statue.
Okay.
So we're talking about the ultra limited edition bundle for Devil May Cry 5, which basically comes with a literal Dante jacket.
Yes, okay. I read about this one today. Yeah, there you go. Real Chile is on it.
$86,000. It's 972,000 yen.
$8,600.
Oh, sorry, $8,600.
Yeah, $86,000. Oh, it's not
I'm talking about once the ultra limited edition comes through like PlayAsia and Scalpers and eBay.
jewel encrusted.
Exactly.
No, that was crazy because I saw that and holy crap, that's like the ultimate god tier edition.
Well, it depends. If you prefer the other characters, also there are jacket bundles for Nero at 810,000 yen, which is roughly $7,100, or V, or 5. I'm not familiar with the character.
Yeah, I'm not. I think it's V.
I'll say V, not like the Cyberpunk 2077 V. Priced at 648,000 yen, or roughly $5,700. So that's awesome if you like Devil May Cry enough to spend like $10,000.
I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, someone out there has that money and they are going to spend it. I mean, even with it's incredibly limited. I think they were only making 300 of them or something.
Well, I mean, why would and plus they have to think about different sizes. And
yeah,
stuff too,
all that. But it's just, it's really insane.
Yeah.
But again, there's people there that have that money and they're like, yep, here you go. They'll just buy it. They'll just buy it straight because they have an extremely rare and unique piece. And again, it's way better than a statuette or
definitely.
something from the game or like codes for the game or whatever. That is a very unique piece.
And they definitely look like they're high quality manufacturers.
I would hope so for that much. I would hope it's real leather, built properly, all that kind of stuff.
Hey, I spent like $150 or something for the Mass Effect jacket, the leather one from Mass Effect 2.
Because if I recall correctly, I think Squeenix did something like that for Final Fantasy 15 because they had the tie-in with, I want to say like Louis Vuitton or like a really high-end fashion designer, and they made like Noctis's like uniform or something like that. But it was the same type of idea. Don't groan at that. We're literally talking about the same thing. It's clothing. You buy it with the game, and it's like super rare. So.
Yeah, but the difference being that you actually had like legitimate Earth products in a Final Fantasy world.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's slightly weirder than the Alan Wake Duracell battery tie-in. Because at least in the world of Alan Wake, they have batteries and they are from Earth.
Yeah, but I mean, Final Fantasy was always that weird one too, where they had real products. They had the fucking noodle cup in it too. Like, that was a thing. So,
but noodle cups are just pervasive. They're everywhere.
they just exist.
It's true.
They're just in every universe.
I don't remember ever buying one, but I've got them.
They just showed up one day.
For $8,600, you better get a date with Cindy, let me tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's true. Janus 3 and $8,000 does buy you a lot of real nice world leather jackets too.
Yes.
I mean, you could buy a lot of coats.
You could probably just buy a bunch of leather and make your own for less. I mean, I would assume.
But again, it's that the collector and those people there is going to get them, definitely.
As long as they don't skimp out, I don't know. But they looked really nice.
Yeah, super nice.
Yeah. I paid a much more reasonable price for my Mass Effect jacket.
Yeah, exactly. And there are places that you could probably get, some seamstress somewhere to make you a Dante replica for probably more like $1,000. But
here's the thing: before I went,
it's not official.
Let's just keep going with the metaphor. Before I actually shelled out money at the BioWare store, I went looking on eBay. See, maybe there'll be like some Chinese made.
Like the knockoff ones, yeah.
They sell a lot of trademarked stuff. I'm just saying. On eBay,
no need to dance around it. We all know.
On eBay, sometimes they have some stuff that may not be, legitimate. So, yeah, I'm sure that BioWare is not getting any money for the, Mass Effect knockoff shit. So I went looking, and, like, the logo wasn't quite right, or the color wasn't quite right. Yeah. And it's like, things like that matter. I mean, that's probably, honestly, how they get away with selling this shit and not get dinged for trademark infringement, because it's just different enough.
No, it's literally just because it's China and they have no jurisdiction.
It could be two things. It could be two things. But anyway, so
Mass Effect M7 jacket. I want a Mass Effect jacket.
I do as well. I do as well. And
that would be amazing.
Instead of Garrus, it's just a big guy with a fish head.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, and Ruru 2, that's another example there. A Frostmourne replica. It was only $500, and now I'm sure that they're ungodly amounts of money. Same thing with when the Gears of War Lancers came out.
Oh, right.
They were like $150 brand new, and now I think they go for about $800 on eBay, like that kind of thing.
Those Saints Row dildo bats from Saints Row 3.
Those ones. Yeah. Pure promo, but still, those
didn't age well either.
Yeah.
I think those things have an expiry date on them. I mean, not that I'm a connoisseur of giant purple sex bats.
But hey, they still fetch your price. For those people.
Tell it to Professor Genki. Anyway, a couple of quick hits before we move on. Jade Raymond, she is done at EA.
Yes, I actually saw her go by in the chat there. So.
Yep. We're talking about the last pin to fall in EA's bid to completely pave over the Visceral legacy.
Yeah.
So everything to do with Star Wars Project Ragtag is gone. So I'm fully expecting now that EA is just gonna completely bulldoze the EA Motive Studios with all the people inside and seal them in like an Egyptian tomb.
No, we're still alive.
Right? Abandon hope, all ye who enter this studio. Because I mean, there's nothing left, and there hasn't been any sort of reason why she left, or if there's a specific job she's moving to.
Probably just tired of that shit.
I mean, that's entirely possible, but I mean, she's had a weird career. After Assassin's Creed, she became like an executive producer for Assassin's Creed 2 and then some of the unnumbered ones. And then she left to do, it's called I Am Alive, I think that disaster one.
Yeah, it was like a disaster survival type game.
Which wasn't like super great.
It was okay. It was an experience.
And then she went to work for Motive, and then she actually opened Motive, and then kind of her career fell off a cliff. So I don't know. But
yeah, no, she was probably just done with them.
I mean, that's entirely possible, right?
And EA pulls a lot of strings, and if you don't like it, you can always leave.
Anyway, so we'll see what happens there. Rebellion, they've just announced, and this is interesting for me specifically, they've just announced that they're going to be bringing Battlezone Gold Edition to the Switch.
Yeah.
So it's going to come with the multiplayer, either on the same screen, split screen,
Yep.
or multiplayer via the wireless LAN.
Of course.
So
it makes perfect sense with that.
It does.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's fantastic because Battlezone Gold was it's like that, like Renegade, right? It was the on the field RTS games where you're just building your base out and you're killing other people
And you
doing
can
the
just
same
hop
thing.
in vehicles and go
Exactly.
do some damage.
Snipe a guy out of his tank, take his tank, fuck off. I mean, that's amazing. I love that. So that's coming to the Switch on November 8th. I'm hoping that it's going to mean that it might actually make the leap to proper consoles. Cough. Not that
Don't be
Switch, I'm just saying. Other than Nintendo games, I don't use my Switch for much, is all I'm saying. So,
Yeah, see, Necro's a fan of Renegade. That's the one that was one of my first experiences with like that type of game with like a first-person RTS.
see, Renegade was neat, but it was not as good as Battlezone. Like, and this is the rebooted Battlezone, obviously not the wireframe tank control one, but picture Renegade if it actually had like a Command and Conquer game behind it, and that's what Battlezone was.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like it's the Americans and the Soviets on the dark side of the moon during the Cold War, fighting in tanks in space.
Space tanks.
I mean, how can you not go wrong? Anyway, how could you not go wrong?
How could you go wrong? How could you go wrong?
Really good read on my part. All right. So now, time for the big ticket. And we are running a little short on time, so I will kind of edit this as I go. So Rockstar, obviously, Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out this Friday.
Yep.
Rumor has it.
It's a pretty big release.
I mean,
not like anyone's waiting for it or anything.
you know, I could play coy, oh, I've heard of it. Yeah. But, it's the biggest thing since sliced bread. Rockstar puts out games once every like 5 goddamn years because they don't have to put out more than a game every 5 years.
Nope.
And when you see the game, you understand why it took them this frigging long, and probably longer than that even. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
But Red Dead Redemption 2 requires a lot of people. Their teams are huge. Rockstar, typically you don't see leaks coming out of there at all. So their studios are like almost to a Konami level of security without all the oppression and locked doors. But
Or so we hear.
so
anyways.
we would hear. But now some reports are coming out that they are talking about sometimes 100-hour work weeks and whatnot during crunch period, which is like the last few months before a game's release. Now, I understand people say crunch is a bad thing, should be avoided, your project management skills, blah, 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 whatever. At the same time, artists will never say something is done until they are forced to.
This is true.
Generally, right? So everything can always be improved until the last possible minute. Usually, like studio management does this to themselves. The game can always be better, so you got to pull together and
they keep cramming at the end, and it's just like, no, just finish it on time. Like, let it be its thing. Like, just go.
Right. So this is kind of the thing. It's sort of this push-pull when it comes to artistic or creative. Syllable. Put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. So anyway, first of all, Rockstar Games, they officially came out and said, okay, this 100-hour work thing, that's bullshit. We don't force anyone to work for 100 hours.
We just suggest it.
Well, that's just the thing, right? And several former employees came out to say, no matter what they say, it's a strong implication that, you needed to be there for this. So apparently it was Dan Houser first that said it about 100-hour work weeks.
Okay.
Like, oh, did I say that? Oh, crap. I definitely shouldn't have called him a customer. So big controversy. Everyone started calling Rockstar out for workforce exploitation. And I mean, it's not a uncommon thing, and it's just now sort of getting mass market, like being in everyone's consciousness that people in the games developments are treated differently than your average workers.
It's also, the shitty part is, it's not a secret because other gaming companies do it.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be that way.
Shouldn't.
That's the crappy part about it.
I mean, you should have a studio that is set up in such a way that you're not laying off 3/4 of your workforce immediately after a game's released, then building back up again.
Yeah.
So it's just an endless cycle of people moving from studio to studio.
That's kind of the disgusting part about it. It's just like, yeah, and that crunch time, that 3-4 month period, everyone's working, 80 hours, 100 hours, and all of a sudden game releases, and they're like, see you later, sucker. And then you have to sit there for the next, probably 6 months begging for your job back, and then you just get to work on the next project, and they probably like reset all your your pension and your all your fucking benefits and everything.
Well, it like in the States, right? Your health insurance only goes with your job, and if you're moving from job to job to job, it's not portable. That becomes an issue.
Yeah.
So anyway, Dan Houser tried to walk it back. So he this controversy came up. Some employees said, okay, well, he might say that, but that was our experience there in the studio. Like, it was always encouraged strongly in such a way that it gave the impression that your performance...
Shawn said, we don't force anyone to work 100 hours work week. Yeah. The whip convinces.
Yeah, it's like the flogging will continue until morale improves. And then the morale will continue until the flogging improves. So he says, he brought out a new statement. He says he claimed only a few writers went for the crunch weeks just before release in order to see things through. And then he said Rockstar as a company doesn't expect anyone to work the same way, and that people work 14 hours a day because they are passionate about the project. He topped that statement off by saying no one, senior or junior, is ever forced to work hard. I don't know why he used that particular phrase. And he believes that Rockstar goes to, quote, great lengths to run a business that cares about its people and to make the company a great place for them to work. So following that wave of controversy, right, the Rockstar employees started tweeting out.
Yeah.
They started speaking up. One that said the work environment was the same 10 years ago when she worked at the company. So it's not just the writing staff.
The first time she got laid off.
Right, basically. It's not just the writing staff, and not only the people who chose to do so, as her contract would have been terminated if she didn't put in the extra hours. Another former employee said the crunch weeks weren't just the few leading up to release. It could go on for a year. Once the game is out, the crunch would continue in order to cater to post-release content and patching. Right, patching is a huge thing, too.
Of course.
You think about like when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out and the online was a little bit, what's the word? Unstable.
All right, Janus Marine, you get half a star now.
What's that for? His mobile?
He's trying to promote his mobile device again.
Janus Marine.
Half star. Keeps dwindling down.
Yeah, as long as he comes back to us for a box quote for the digital download only game that doesn't exist.
And yeah, baby, that's actually a good point.
They've been trying to do that for a while.
They've been trying to do that for a while. That's a thing that's come up multiple times, especially when big games like this drop.
Yeah.
Same thing for EA, Ubisoft, all of them. Video game developer unions have been kind of a hot button thing for a while, but they just haven't seemed to be able to get it working yet.
Big developers have been trying to put the kibosh on that, for the longest time. And there's always new people that come in that they can get for cheaper.
Yeah,
exactly. And they really benefit from this constant churn.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, unless you really rise to the top of your team, or you have a weird structure like Naughty Dog where they don't have to continuously do that because they're just rolling people from project to project.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you have that,
I just really wish that they would.
Hey, Real Chill, thank you for subscribing.
Thank you very much for the subscription. Obviously, you're having a good time then.
Just hanging around watching us for a long time.
It's just really unfortunate that it has to be that way. I wish that they, if you don't want them to unionize and you don't want these kind of news cycles like storming around and be like, 100-hour forced work week and everything like that. It's like try to change it, try to affect how that's done. Either plan it out better or have more people or something like that. Because that's the part that really bugs me. Again, just like any big business, I know businesses do stuff for profit. That's the whole fucking point of running a business, obviously. But the thing that really gets to me is when year after year after year, you either make a bigger product, like a bigger game, or you just make a bigger profit, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we made $500 million this year. All right, you're all laid off. All right, no one gets any fucking, raises, and nobody gets health benefits and everything like that. And then the next year, we made $800 million this year. Everybody's laid off. Nobody gets benefits. Everyone works Christmas. Like, it just gets more and more separate every fucking time, and it's just really sad.
So let me get this straight. So you're saying that investors and rich people get richer, while the poor people get poor.
Don't tell them how the sausage is made, all right?
I mean, it's almost like there's a disappearing middle class.
You know what I'm getting at, though.
I know exactly what you're getting
at. It's really,
at.
really sad.
All right. So it gets better.
Better or worse?
Worse, better.
Okay, worse, better.
So Dan Houser, after this whole thing blew up, he tried to justify it because of how big.
He got the salt in the wounds.
Because of how big. It's like a talk with Brad Wardell all of a sudden. We love you, Brad. He says the polishing rewrites and re-edits Rockstar does are immense. We were working 100-hour work weeks several times in 2018. The finished game includes 300,000 animations, 500,000 lines of dialogue, and many more lines of code. Even for each RDR2 trailer and TV commercial, we probably made 70 versions, but the editors may make several hundred. Sam and I will both make... Sam and I... No, that's exactly what it says. Yeah. Sam and I will both make lots of suggestions. I copied and pasted.
Hey, it's all good.
Doesn't matter. As will other members of the team.
Is he a robot? Did he glitch?
Take off the mask and it's like Zuckerberg. And apparently this is a statement from Rockstar that Dan Houser made himself. Says so later on he kind of came out. There was an interview with Harold Goldberg. Not the same guy. He says, there seems to be some confusion arising from my interview with Harold Goldberg. The point I was trying to make in the article was related to how the narrative and dialogue in the game was crafted, which is mostly what we talked about, not about the different processes of the wider teams. After working on the game for 7 years, yeah. The senior writing team, which consists of 4 people, Mike Unsworth, Rupert Humphreys, Laszlo from the radio, of course, and myself, had... as we always do, 3 weeks of intense work when we wrapped everything up. 3 weeks, not years. We've all worked together for at least 12 years now and feel we need this to get everything finished. After so many years of getting things organized and running the project, we needed this to check and finalize everything. More importantly, we obviously don't expect everyone else to work this way. Across the whole company, we have some senior people who work very hard purely because they're passionate about a project. Again, it's like back to this, right?
Yeah.
It's...
Trying to put the onus on the people for working because they're passionate or they really want to do it or whatever, not in any way, shape or form saying they made them do it by threatening their job, by cutting pay, by, doing whatever. Like it's like the top-down version of the statement people said about Telltale. Oh, if you really were passionate about this project, you'd finish the last 2 for free. And it's like. You'll work for free. Yeah. Either way. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't make any sense.
300 animations, 270K of which are different cougar kill animations, which is to be expected. It's going to be the most realistic cougar in a game ever.
I'm terrified.
They're going to come out of everything. You're going to lift your hat off and there's going to be one in there.
Well, there's a brand new cougar crafting system now. So you build them out of just, rage and vinegar.
Can I put like a Gatling gun on the back of one and ride it around?
I mean, it's ridiculous.
That's what I would craft.
Right now, the Gatling guns all shoot cougars.
It's a cougar gun.
That's how the South lost the war, right?
The invention of the cougar gun.
North had the cougar gun.
Yep.
It's a little known fact of the Civil War. So anyway, this is like a widespread industry issue, but it always comes up with major releases of games.
Yeah.
Less so for Rockstar because, again, stuff tends not to leak. They try to keep it in-house. Those teams generally don't roll over, get turnover as much. Mm-hmm. Rollover is not the same as turnover. All right. But, ultimately, I'm sure the game will be worth it, and we'll see how it goes. Allegedly.
Withdrawn.
So you know what time it is.
It is. We have enough time to.
We will have enough time.
Yes. Okay, we got to fire it off real quick.
Well, don't forget that I don't know. Yes, we'll fire it off quick. So it's time to press select on the options menu. So every week we have a rotating series of topics that we like to call the options menu. And this week we're going to talk about Steal This Idea, which is a very special thing on the options menu, where Dandr0id and I have ideas for games that we would like to play. Neither of us being coders, we will say, developers, go out, make our game, we'll give you the idea for free. as long as it's good. If it sucks, we're coming after you for money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But if the game is great, it's a great game.
Good on you.
80 or higher on Metacritic, free game.
Thanks for making the game that we wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you first.
All right.
What idea would you like us to steal?
It's good that we don't have a lot of time because mine is more of a simple idea.
Okay.
I think it has been talked about or rumored about before, but we've never seen the actual game. So I'm just going to put it out there as I want it still to be made. And that was when the rumor was swirling that, what is it, Rocksteady Studios, the Arkham Asylum guys?
Yes, Rocksteady.
Yeah, Rocksteady. Is that after they were done the Batman games, that they were going to take the same engine and make a Ninja Turtles game. So the one that I want is a fully, or not fully realistic, but like a much more real take on the Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
With the Arkham City type of vibe and engine and everything like that. So you have a giant giant map of New York at night with a sewer system and everything like that, but have a really unique and awesome way to traverse with the turtles. And you get to pick who you are on the fly, so you would switch between any of them like at any point.
Sure.
And they would have like what is it, pathfinding technology. So basically, if you're running ahead and you're like, jump down the fire escape or like running along the street and stuff like that, they all follow you, but in like the ninja way that they do, like doing rolls and flips and following you around with that. So you could swap between them at any time, and then have it like an Arkham City type game where you have different events that are happening kind of around you at all times, but then have a core storyline that's happening.
So you'd have
at
like
the same time
combination attacks with the other turtles if you happen to be near them in the fight and stuff.
So you do that. So the way that Rocksteady did all of Batman's like unique animations, because you could attack multiple guys at the same time, or he was always aware of the next target he was going to attack, so the animations were so fluid and everything. I wanted to see that, but done with all four Ninja Turtles. So either you might like kick a guy and he like flies into one of the other turtles, who then like kicks him or punches him in the head and throws him or something like that. Or you can do combo attacks where you both swing around and hit him with your weapon at the same time, like that kind of thing.
So baby brings up a good point.
Yeah.
Your Turtles game, would that also be a multiplayer thing where half the guys could be?
I think just because of the scope and the graphics of it, that I think it would have to be a single player experience unless there was an online element, maybe.
Yeah.
That's about the only way I think it would be able to handle it, because you couldn't do split screen obviously because of the sheer mass of the map and everything like that.
Okay.
Maybe the same screen, but then you're really locked into being close together the whole time.
You could do multiplayer, just not local multiplayer.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Just like an online element, something like that.
That would be cool.
Which would be, again, a really awesome way to explore it too. And then just have, because you're not Batman, because you don't have a grappling hook and a cape to like fly around the city and stuff like that, make the map a little smaller, a little more manageable. Have points where you can fast travel and everything, but still make them very fluid parkour like movements to move up up fire escapes, or maybe travel inside some buildings and stuff like that, just to get to the rooftops and then have that awesome time where you're jumping from rooftop to rooftop under the moonlight and just attacking the Foot Clan and everything. And I think it would be such a fucking amazing game to play, because I love Arkham City, but Ninja Turtles being one of my favorite things. And
see, ironically, I would think that the like, obviously, and funny story.
Yeah.
There was a rumor for the longest time that Rocksteady was actually making a Harry Potter game. And
really? A Harry Potter game?
The game is being made. Rocksteady's not making it. But it was just kind of funny you mentioned that if they work on a Turtles game.
Yeah.
Ironically, the perfect people to do that kind of ninja game would be Platinum, and their game wasn't great.
Which was really unfortunate.
Which is weird.
Like, because I appreciate what they did with it. They tried to make it, bright and cartoony and everything like that. I think it tried to bridge that gap between the comic and what was then the Nickelodeon one that they were running, and they tried to bridge that with how they looked and how they acted and everything like that. What I wanted is more of like very much in the vein of Arkham City, where these would be much more akin to the Turtles in the comics, where you actually get to see blood and they actually use weapons and
see.
Cut the ninjas and like everything like that. Like, they actually attack each other.
Well, couch co-op option, TSR said it would be hella fun as well. It would be if you could do like a it would have to be, instead of a full 3D, like a 2D 3D, like an isometric, like the old style. Maybe
You'd be locked in like an invisible kind of dome. You couldn't leave too far from each other, kind of thing.
You have the gauntlet sort of.
That kind of situation.
Yeah.
So
Pain in the ass.
the camera basically locks on someone and you're stuck with him or whatever, which would be fine too. I mean, I'm good either way. Multiplayer is that much better for that type of situation.
Yeah, baby is totally on board with the couch co-op, and depending on the game, I am definitely on board. Like, I love couch co-op games. Like, when
I'm
we
all
played-
about them. I mean, I got my history with all Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all that classic stuff. So
I would literally start punching people if it would get us to play Crawl more on the show.
I know.
And Catastronauts on the weekend was amazing. Had a lot of fun with that. So anyway, I'm right there with you as well. But Jay Tanuki wanted to go out of her way to shit on your dream and say that they have already confirmed they're not working on a TMNT
and see,
game.
that was the thing, is that confirmation did come out because it was just a rumor. But either way, if somebody could mimic, say, Arkham City and make a Ninja Turtles game, I would be so fucking down to play that. I would love it.
And Real Chill, no, the original PS3 did not have 2 HDMI ports. It did not.
No.
I can show it to you.
Yeah. All right. So,
Yes.
what
Crawl.
idea do you want?
Jay is free.
No, it's not crawl.
You know what?
Crawl.
Crawl.
Like crawling.
After I finish off on Why Would You Play That when it comes back starting November the 8th, after I finish with Call of Juarez, the Cartel, and you play
We'll
whatever's
figure it out
over
at
there
that
on the
point.
shelf, I want to do Dark Sector.
Okay.
Regardless of, it's apparently like, it's not terrible, but it's iffy. But it's iffy enough.
It's in that mid-range.
It's iffy enough that I never really
As long as it isn't
played
a fucking 20-hour game.
No, I don't know. But I mean, just to whip around that thing and see,
Just have an alien glaive for no reason.
Yeah. And if it turns out to be too good a game, whatever. I mean,
We'll call it a day.
I can't believe you pulled the ripcord on fucking Mad Hazard. And, oh my god, I'm still bitter about that. Okay, anyway, no, not Crawl. Although great movie. I don't care what people say. In any case, play a Splinter instead. There's always one,
DLC character.
right? Splinter's OP. Nerf Splinter immediately. All right. So my idea. I kind of had this idea, like I've been doing the last couple as kind of hybrid sim games, and I thought of one again, kind of an interesting idea. You remember Rad, of course.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Right. So it was kind of you had to limit the damage you did to the city while you still fought the big kaiju type
it's
thing.
a kaiju simulator, basically.
Basically, but there was also a death toll.
Yes.
And there was a plot attached to it, right? So I was thinking about this because I've been watching some new and classic animes recently. So I've been watching Iron Blooded Orphans, one of the more recent Gundam series.
Yeah.
So I'm halfway into that and kind of thinking about that. I was thinking about some of the classic ones. I was thinking about some of the other classic series I used to watch, like Pat Labor, which is a good one.
Just the good oversized mech anime.
Right. The oversized mech anime, they're police in urban environment, and I don't recall specifically it was Tokyo. It was like Neo Tokyo.
It's like a Neo Tokyo type
Cyber
situation.
Tokyo,
Yeah.
whatever. Tokyo 2. That was a
Tokyo the Second.
yes, Evangelion thing, whatever. And you had AD Police, which was like the spin-off. It was just their oh no, that was Bubblegum Crisis. AD Police was Bubblegum Crisis. Pat Labor
So that was just like the police force that
Yes.
they worked with or whatever.
Anyway, long story short, that kind of thing, police in an urban environment with weapons that should not be deployed in an urban environment. Kind of like Watch Dogs 2 with police with grenades.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, so I started thinking about that, and I was thinking about Dominion Tank Police,
Okay.
which is like a distinctly tongue-in-cheek sort of application of the same kind of style of genre, we'll say.
Yeah.
They literally had tanks because it was like, they have assault rifles. We should have assault rifles. They've got big blast shields. We get blast shields. It's like, if you've got a rocket launcher, then I need a tank. I need a tank to enforce law and order in this city, right? And if they get tanks of their own, then we'll nuke them. This is sort of the logic behind this. So obviously, tongue in cheek. I wanted to play like a Dominion Tank Police style game where you are playing a game like This Is the Police, or like police cops, like police precincts.
Oh yes, yeah.
that.
So you are keeping crime
Yes.
at a low level while policing the streets in a fantastic teched out tank.
But you remember, okay, we'll put it a different way. You remember the original version of the Ghostbusters, which was like the city map?
Yes.
You had to go and
and then you went into certain buildings to bust ghosts or whatever.
Exactly.
So.
And then the Gozer and we would come in and wreck buildings and shit if you didn't like advance fast enough. There was that, and you still had to research technology, and you had money that you got from jobs, and blah, blah, blah. So Dominion Tank Police, where you have crime in a city.
So you just have a police scanner going on, and then you got to like respond to said crime.
So I guess technically it's a little like Crackdown, because you're doing damage to the city, and the more damage you do, the less money you get for like enforcing your protection
You're
contracts.
not a cybernetic human. You have like a crazy fucking anime tank.
You have a bunch of tanks, right? But it's like you have to stop the people performing the crimes as quickly as possible. But at the same time, if you use too much force, you'll end up like wrecking more of the city,
flatten a building, and like, oh shit, you killed 300 people.
Right. So maybe your contract prices will come down, or maybe there'll be fines or something. It'll be like a whole a mega corporate franchise taken to the absurd extreme. So there'll be definitely sort of a Saints Row feel to it, but you're still defending a city from waves and waves of like ever increasing crime. Eventually they'll have giant robots and blah, 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 and whatever. But I would like to see that where you're half trying to apply the appropriate force to subdue without causing too much wreckage.
Yep. I'm so down with that. The only thing I request of your idea to be stolen is I want the tank customization to be akin to Armored Core.
I would say maybe not quite to that depth.
Not like the engines and the radiator and everything like that, but like you can choose to have like quad wheelie feet, or you can be a bipedal tank or whatever, and then choose like arm weapons or like a core weapon or something like that. Yeah,
something like that. Like effectively,
Armored Core Light.
Effectively like the new BattleTech game where you have to like sort of balance your commitment in money and repair costs versus the actual contract you're taking. Like that, except in a city, in an urban environment with like a Saints Row style of humor.
And destructible environments. I am so fucking ready for that game.
So you'll see, and you'll see like a Red Dead style of like they'll retain memories. Like if you've wrecked his building for the fourth time, he's like, "Come on!" Out of the street. That would be hilarious. So, but yeah, played for laughs in that old like manga style.
Absolutely.
You know, anime.
I'd play the shit out of that.
I would play the shit out of that.
That's Ghost in the Shell, you plebs. Not quite. Ghost in the Shell does not have a sense of humor.
Ghost in the Shell is devoid of sense of humor, actually.
It is a...
Kusanagi had it removed in the third or fourth revision. There's no space.
Yeah.
She unloaded her sense of humor to make more room for killing.
Bipedal tank. Nice try, Solidus.
Colonel!
All right. Yep. Yes, I would play the...
Surprised they haven't made a Gits game yet. They have, actually. They made a couple. There was one they made for the PS1.
Yeah.
Where you were just in a Fuchikoma.
Yes, that's true.
Which was actually a really good game.
And then I believe they had a third-person shooter on the PS2 or PS3.
2, I think.
It was PS2?
I mean, it might have been... I don't know.
It was clunky as fuck, but yeah, I just didn't remember what system it was on.
The Gungrave game was better.
Yes.
So, and that was not a great game.
And that wasn't great.
But it was better. So yeah, I would like them to see make a modern Ghost in the Shell game, and I imagine that if
like a fully fledged one with proper shooting and moving mechanics, you could pilot one of them.
If the Scarlett Johansson movie had gone better,
maybe a chance, but yeah, not anymore.
Probably not. Probably not.
Just Cyberpunk 2077. I'm just wait for that.
Oh my god. Ask your doctor if Cyberpunk 2077 is right for you if you have.
Answer,
ED.
It is. It's good for everyone.
It is. For external use only.
Oh, that's right, Necro, and they did do an online shooter that was apparently terrible.
Did they?
I think it was like a Chinese-only one or something like that.
I guess kind of like the Microsoft Shadowrun game where it's just a shooter.
that kind of thing. It's just really devoid of any kind of story or love or anything.
Was the game online terrible? It was. Tribor for the win. All right, show. That's our show. All right, folks.
Take that, show.
Take that, show. Shut up, crime. Anyway, not today, Satan. That is our show for today, episode 44. Digital Fiasco Live. Right. Yeah. If you like what we do here, tell your friends and fellow gamers. If you don't like what we do here, tell us. You can reach out to us on Twitter at Digital_Fiasco. Let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, suggestions for future shows, other discussion points you want to talk about on, the options menu, other questions, anything you want to know. And you can also check out us on psu.com, which is at psu.com.
It's right there in the name.
PlayStation Universe. Our brand new home for our content, and we're going to have more and interesting stuff there going forward. Tomorrow, everyone can join in. I don't know. I'm going to have to watch some Daredevil tonight just in case those fuckers talk about it tomorrow.
Even if they're talking about like the first episode.
Right? Because it's going to be right away, instant spoilers.
Do we have the dynamic duo in studio tomorrow night?
We do.
Awesome.
I'm fairly certain that both Kelly and Elbow will be back tomorrow for Comic Sans at 7 p.m. Central Time, which is their usual time. And then Wednesday will be the return of Player's Guide Live with Daniel and Jackson talking about, I don't know, it's Halloween, so probably demon possession.
Probably something along those lines.
He's bored with demon possession.
Or scary games or something. I don't know.
Something.
They usually pick an hour before the show goes live. So.
They hate spoopy games. I said to him, I guess they've never played what was it, Fatal Frame? Christ, that is a creepy ass game.
Maybe we could get in a round of that at some point around Halloween. I don't know.
That is true.
Figure it out.
Yeah. All right, folks, that's our show for this week.
Real chill. Glad you had a great time.
Yeah.
Make sure you come back next Monday for Digital Fiasco Live. And if you like nerdy stuff, comic book shows, like all the movies and stuff, every Tuesday night, we have Kelly and Albell, the dynamic duo. They're in talking about that stuff. So, yep.
And check out below. You have a list.
Oh, yes, and of course there's our lovely list down there.
Somewhere over there.
Or times and schedule and everything like that.
Yep.
And I'm glad you had a great time.
Yep. Fatal Frame. See, TK Star knows what it's about.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that fucking
She likes some spoopy games.
All right, folks, that's our show. Thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight. We appreciate it all. It was a great chat again. And tune in tomorrow. All right, I am Jack McBastard.
And I'm Dandr0id.
We're Digital Fiasco. We will see you next week, folks.
Good night.
Good night.